Yeah, we're live now, Mark.
All right, let's get it.
Election night in America. Either I don't know. Depends where you side on the issues here, and where you sign on for president. And by the way, the we're in Florida here. Well, first off, if you're familiar with the Speaking Podcast, Mark Francois with us here talking. Um, Mr. Lefty himself.
Yeah.
So
Like I told you offline, it's either the season finale or the series finale of America, and we'll
yeah,
find out
maybe.
soon.
What about find out soon? So you just landed from California like literally an hour ago, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, maybe a little more. It takes a while to get through JFK, but yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
So in case you guys are under a rock right now, currently we're about to approach 10 o'clock p.m. for the latest returns coming in. Right now, Donald Trump is leading with 100 and what? Is it 160 electoral
Something like
votes?
164 or something like that.
Right.
But I mean, it's all the states he's
Well,
supposed to
that's gonna change. That's gonna change 10 minutes. Hold on. That's gonna change 10
Yeah.
minutes. Because they're gonna have the 10 o'clock drop coming right now in about 5 seconds. There's Jake Tapper. By the way, Will Blitzer's not here tonight. I know you were saying earlier.
Oh, he was on earlier. Wasn't
All right,
he?
so-
I swear, you know what? Maybe it was a commercial I was hearing, but when I was at the airport, I was like,
All right.
ugh.
So Donald Trump is one Montana and Utah.
Shocker of the century.
Again, everything's static. So let me just tell folks, because everybody who's again, this is why me being the moderate and having friends on both sides of the aisle, people ask me my feelings on the election and where we're standing right now. I'm like, everything's static. Everything is going the way it's supposed to. Like, if you look at the map, if you can literally replay the 2020 election, the first 2-3 hours of the election, and it's going the exact same way with Biden.
100%.
And there's been no flips yet. Every single state has gone the way it's supposed to. And right now, so right as I told everybody, you're going to see a red mirage early on. Right now, this is the red mirage.
Yeah.
Now at 11 o'clock, you're going to see Kamala get 80 plus electoral votes with California, Oregon, Washington State, and New Mexico. So she'll close that gap pretty quickly at 11 o'clock. This happens every single cycle.
Well, exactly. And I mean, look, the Northeast is starting to fill in, and then of course the big ones that are going to be bellwethers that really tell you how the night is going for the vice president are going to be Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania.
Right. Again, the ball game really begins after 11 o'clock, because once you get to California and the states that matter, all the states that are going to go blue and red no matter what, that'll be done by 11 o'clock.
Polls haven't even closed yet in Washington, Oregon.
Right.
They're just closing. I can't remember if it's 7 or 8. But Washington, Oregon, California,
8 o'clock,
Nevada.
8 o'clock in the Pacific time. So yeah, 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, the polls are still open for another hour in the West Coast, Alaska, and Hawaii. It's not like Alaska.
My wife is like going nuts now. She's a Kamala supporter. She's like, I'm gonna throw up. This is crazy. I'm like, honey, this is going the same exact way it went 4 years ago. Now,
bingo.
If you're a Kamala supporter, obviously you should be a little concerned, because, I mean, right now Georgia, Trump is leading now, but again, there's still Fulton County votes to come in. I think.
Georgia's slow anyway.
Yeah,
it is slow. No, I mean,
no. I know what you meant. It's always slow.
Their tabulation is slow.
Here's the potential wild card tonight.
I'll put the South down on my own. I don't need to be painted into a corner.
Right. Here's the potential wild card tonight, though. We didn't see coming, and Virginia might be the wild card. So right now, Trump leads in Virginia. Now, saying that, I remember quite a few cycles where when they, and this is all based on how they report the precincts and all that the GOP nominee always performs well in the first hour or two of that state, and then eventually later on the Democrat will just pull it off at the end. Like I remember Romney and Obama back in 2012. Like Romney was ahead of Virginia in a state that Obama was supposed to carry by 5-6 points, which he did, by the way. But early on, the early returns had Romney ahead by the first 2 hours of the 3 hours of the night, and then by 11 o'clock it had flipped, and then next thing you know, Obama wins it by whatever. Happened to Hillary Clinton, same thing also too. So, but that being said, if Virginia does go Trump, that's an issue for Kamala, because no one had on the bingo card whatsoever.
Yeah. No, there were two things I saw that were interesting. North Carolina, they were showing in Mecklenburg County, and I can't remember the name of the other county, but it's like Raleigh-Durham area. It was really important that she win those two counties by wider margins than Joe Biden did. Mm-hmm. And currently she's doing that. However, in some of the redder counties, granted lower populations because it's more rural North Carolina, places like Asheville and whatnot.
Correct.
Trump is also winning by wider margins than he did in 2020 against Biden. So it'll be interesting to see how North Carolina breaks. Like you said, if Virginia goes to Trump, then that's a problem for the vice president.
If Trump wins Virginia, he's winning the election. I'll make that prediction right now, because that was not on the bingo card. Because the assumption was for Kamala Harris, as long as she holds firm the usual states plus the 3 battleground states, she gets 270. But Virginia, but Virginia's included in 270.
Yeah.
Hold on, my wife's texting me. She's like, "You're not answering me."
I'm live, babe.
I'm telling her everything's static right now, honey. Relax. Leave me alone, Mikey. Leave me alone. You know what pisses me off with my wife right now about this is that because she's always the worry wart of this stuff. I told her, listen, I'm gonna map out what's gonna happen the entire night. She's like, "Leave me alone! Don't tell me."
Keep talking. Honey, I'm gonna keep moving around as we do this.
And I said, had you listened to me earlier, I would have told you everything that's going on right now is playing out the way I told you.
Yeah, a friend of mine called me and he was like in a panic. I'm like, dude, take a breath. Everything you're seeing is exactly what's supposed to happen. It's fine.
Is that Joe from Minnesota there in the chat? What's up, buddy? By the way, if you want to chat with us for the next 2 hours, whatever, Democracy in Action here. Yeah. So, really no surprises so far.
No.
I will say this much. Trump winning Florida by the margin he did and how fast they called it, which I guess was a shock, because not that Florida was ever in play for Kamala, for me anyway.
Sure. No. It hasn't been a swing state in 3 election cycles at least.
But I had not seen Florida call that early since 1996.
Interesting.
Since Bill Clinton. Yeah. Every time Florida was called. Florida always had about 2 hours. And then they call it because it's a little closer margins. No, this is a red state. But Mark, I told you this a couple years ago, and you agree with me on this. The issue in Florida is it's not the fact that it's a red state in like Alabama. No, it's a Democratic Party problem. I think the problem.
Yeah.
But that's because the state is it's no longer just the Florida tent. Republican tent is a lot bigger than people give credit for. It's not just evangelicals and the rich white billionaires that run the state now. It's now normal Americans, blue collar Americans like myself, who are voting on that side now because the messaging to the Democratic Party and the people on the grounds are not matching up.
Yeah, well, and I think it's fair to attribute that to 2 things. Number one, you're absolutely right that it is the Democratic Party is failing to out-message their opponent. But the other component of that is that their opponent is outright lying to the electorate unapologetically. Well,
it's for the people to decide that. People to research that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. And, it is. We talked about this on the last pod. It is so hard for the, sort of the popcorn eating consumer of news and issues to be able to differentiate misinformation, outright lie. It's like if you're not a political science nerd and a history nerd, and it's really, it's gotten the misinformation landscape and the ability for conspiracy theories, nonsense, etc., to get picked up by mainstream news and credible outlets is frankly terrifying. The quality of our news and our information and the access to understanding for the majority of the electorate has gotten exponentially worse over the last 10, 15 years.
Without question. But to be fair too, also, people don't trust the media either.
Well, but a lot of that is by design. You know what I mean? Because people, you have companies out there like Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax going, "You can't trust our competitors." They're just outright saying it. And they're not acting in good faith.
I always said when Trump says fake news, he's not entirely wrong about that, for the record. He's not.
Okay, but just because there's a grain of like a table salt grain of truth in a like 40-foot pile of shit, don't sane wash him. How dare you? You're better than that.
I mean, it's to his own, advantage, obviously, to his own personal bias, but he's not necessarily wrong.
And I think that kind of gets at what I see as the larger problem, and that is, for a whole host of reasons, Americans have become increasingly more individualistic, self-interested, and willing to compromise ethics and human rights in order for the even prospect of individual personal advancement. Mm-hmm. My 401k grows 11 points a year instead of 7 points a year, but 14 million brown people get rounded up and deported. Whatever. I didn't know them.
Trump up by 6 points down North Carolina. How many reported here do they have here? So far, 69% of reported so far in North Carolina.
Okay.
Now you got to wonder if are there any margins that he's outperforming himself by 3% or more right now in North Carolina. That's a massive problem for the thing is, does she need North Carolina? No, but it also means she has to keep the blue wall states. It thins out her margins of her path to victory.
Yeah.
What up, Josh?
Yo,
what up?
I was just streaming YouTube. I was trying to find the live stream of MSNBC. I couldn't find it, but I saw you and your friend, your Dodgers friend.
Yeah, fuck MSNBC. Come on,
Dodgers
hang out with us.
Friend right there. That won't say well in New York.
So
no, it does. No, it doesn't. The last couple of weeks have been pretty rough living out here.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So what do you think so far, Josh? We're 10 o'clock right now.
Dude,
Trump 172-81 right now currently.
What, dude? Everybody from what I'm hearing is everybody from the Rust Belt moved to Florida.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends in PA down here. The lovely people.
Just saying, like Florida has become like a very red state now.
I was just telling Mark a while ago, what's so crazy is that not that Trump winning was a surprise, but how fast they called it. I mean, and I knew it was a bad sign when the abortion measure lost. I'm like, what?
It's funny you bring that up.
It lost by
60% thing is gnarly.
Right, and
it's crazy.
It got majority, but it didn't get the 60% it needed to pass. That and the weed bill too, also.
Yeah.
What do you think? How the other day I had a friend text me saying he was worried Hillary was going to blow it for Kamala.
Why would Hillary?
And Hillary literally was sent down to Florida over the weekend. She's that important, It's like being the utility infielder, I'm the backup second baseman,
She's so annoying. I can't stand her.
So what's going to happen though, man? I'm a little nervous that North Carolina.
Well, I was just telling Mark that too. Also, North Carolina looks a little. Trump is outperforming his performance in 3 years ago.
In North Carolina, he's outperforming it.
Outperforming what he did 2020.
Really? So they're split tickets because the governor's race was called.
Yeah, but the guy that he ran against was a piece of shit, black Nazi.
Mark Robinson.
Right. Yeah. So I was wondering was there possibility that you can pull down, some votes into for the blue column, but I think you got a split ticketing there, honestly.
And then Arizona looks kind of dicey.
Oh, Arizona's going on Trump. I said that months ago. That's going on Trump.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a pretty continuous wave of right-wing Californians in particular moving into, like, I would say, California, the people that do leave the state overwhelmingly to places like Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Arizona, and Idaho are a lot of your like red suburbanites. And so they have really beefed up areas like Maricopa County, especially in like Scottsdale and whatnot.
Oh, I pause it. I'm going to put down the volume. I want to see myself on the TV. Let me see this.
Oh my
So I gotta
God.
fast forward it. But I hear, oh, here I am. This is so cool.
You see,
Do I see myself in real time? No, not
brother,
there
you've been on a podcast so many times in the last like 7 years. You worry about being on TV now?
I don't know.
You
It
be
just
live,
looks
right?
cool. I look good. But I hear that Nevada is still gonna go Democrat, even though a lot of people from California.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. And everybody's texting me. My wife was like, she's at work going bonkers. I'm like, everything is going static. Every state has been called is going the way we all thought it's going to be. And
okay.
Here's the thing you people understand.
She
At 11 o'clock,
Pennsylvania. Looks like she's going to win Pennsylvania, but she has to win Wisconsin and Michigan now.
Right. And if she does, she wins the election. That's over.
Huh?
And she should win Minnesota handily given her running mate, right?
Yeah, look, I saw when I looked at the map earlier, it looked like Missouri was kind of up for grabs now.
No. Don't. That's going on Trump.
What about Iowa?
See, that's interesting. We got some polling that came in on the weekend that had her up 3 points, and it's not that she'll win Iowa, but if she wins, by the way, she just won Colorado. Kamala.
That was expected. Colorado or Virginia.
But that's what I'm saying now. That's what I'm saying. So look, in about 45 minutes, folks, Kamala will either tie Trump or take the lead because 11 o'clock. Listen. Because 11 o'clock, California, Oregon, Washington State, and New Mexico all go blue. That's
what about Georgia?
Well, just because the polls closed doesn't mean they call them yet, though.
What about Georgia?
They almost always call those races pretty early, though.
That's true.
They're so strong in blue states. That's why.
Georgia. How about Georgia?
That's going Trump.
Really?
Yeah, I on my wall I had it going Trump.
My goodness.
Joel says democracy. We're a republic.
Tomato.
Tomato, buddy.
Well, it's not tomato. It's kind of a hybrid.
Yeah.
Because it's a democratic measure to vote for the abortion ballot, but then we're represented by people. We're not making the decisions.
Well, Trump's heading down Pennsylvania now. Trump is number headed lead in Pennsylvania.
Okay. He took the lead in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's nip and tuck. It's nip and tuck all night.
Yeah. The thing is, they're saying, for example, Arizona might not be cold for a number of days, though.
Yeah, Maricopa County apparently had some shit going on there.
Yeah, so you're going to have Arizona, Washington, Nevada, Oregon, and Florida all had ballots either damaged, stolen, or burned.
Yeah. Wow. Ernest, so you're calling it for Harris?
I am not calling for anybody. I didn't make on my podcast. I didn't make any projection.
Okay, what do you think of the betting markets though? They all have it for Trump.
Well,
okay. Can I just say I think that is like so gross that like Robinhood is doing ads on podcasts for betting on the election. Ugh. It's not like it's not like it's new, but it's just so gross that it's just like, here, do this. Sometimes I wish the TVA would pluck me out because the void is looking a lot more peaceful at this point.
So my old friend Joe from Minnesota says definitely the same thing. It's like saying Mets or the Yankees. Do not disrespect my Mets, please.
What's the same?
Do not do that. Yeah, democracy in the republic.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. What was it? There was some kind of beef. A Patriots player told what's his name? Freaking Le'Veon Bell. He's like, "Yo, you
Le'Veon Bell."
Now. Yeah, who was it? Who was the player?
It was him. He was the one that endorsed.
No, he said he's going to leave if Trump loses. But then a former star on the Patriots, is like, you should leave now.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
go Braves.
Go Braves.
Calm down, Joel. Calm down, Joel.
Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of nervous, but I guess the blue wall needs to hold up. She can get Iowa. I don't know if that's pivotal though.
Okay, I gotta tell y'all something. Okay, so my wife was asking me now. She's like, blow up my text at work. I'm like, she's gonna take a lead 11 o'clock. 80 electoral votes come in 11 o'clock. California, Oregon, Washington.
Yeah, well, this thing is not going to be decided yet, though.
That's my point, though. But the number. This is what we've been saying for fucking years, though. The red mirage. You get the early red mirage. And then later on, when the blue states
why is this closer than Biden Trump 2020? I don't get it.
It's not, we mean it's closer. It's because there's a lot of people who just are not enamored with the Biden administration, what they've done for a lot of reasons. Gaza being one, which is why Michigan's important for Kamala, and a lot of other reasons in the economy, and whether or not people whether or not the economy is doing great or not, people don't feel that. And,
well, and I think also it's worth noting as well that, you know, the Harris campaign and the Biden administration have an absolutely abhorrent record on Gaza. They haven't said any of the things necessary to convince, you know, people who are more far left or were considering somebody like Jill Stein, socialist, communist, whatever. You know, leftists do exist in this country, and most of them are voters. And while a great many of them would normally probably align in a situation like this with a Democratic candidate for the greater good, you know, this administration in particular has signed off. This administration and this campaign have signed off on genocide, and the supporters of two-state solution in Palestine are not willing to budge on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
And she didn't come out with an endorsement yet. So you think that's
who's that?
The congresswoman from Michigan who's Palestinian.
She
never endorsed Harris.
She endorsed Harris?
She's sitting out.
Principle.
Yeah, you know, and
I respect that. I'm sorry, I respect that.
That sentiment has been echoed by, from what I've seen, a lot of Muslim, Middle Eastern, North Africa, you know, what have you. These communities in places like Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and around the country are not willing to just fall in line. And you know, I've seen some pretty, you know, at least from my friends and people I follow on, especially the far left on social media, pretty biting criticism of people that can do the mental gymnastics necessary to vote for Vice President Harris and, you know, still call themselves a leftist.
It's funny you say that because me, as a member of the Jewish community, I know Jewish people that said I can't vote for Harris because they don't think she's strong enough on Israel.
Strong enough for Israel?
Yes, there are people in the Jewish community that believe that Harris
that's accurate.
Strong enough for Israel.
That's accurate.
Well, sure. I mean, you know, Netanyahu has been pretty unapologetic and consistent in his position on this, and you know, he wants more, and obviously Trump will give him more. But yeah, I do think that's a serious problem for the Harris campaign in the blue wall.
Well, I mean, that was why it seemed like a major reason why she passed on Josh Shapiro. That could have shored her up in Pennsylvania. But then now I'm looking at it. If Arizona is going completely red, why wasn't Mark Kelly still a viable candidate?
Arizona going blue was
that was the guy I was pulling for.
Yeah,
you were pulling for Mark Kelly.
You want Mark Kelly?
Yeah. I said that on the pod. No. Mark Kelly was the one I was kind of hoping she would pick.
For the Veep sweepstakes he's talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That was who I was pulling for.
I wanted Walz personally.
Really? He came out of nowhere.
Populist.
That was kind of my thing too. I had literally no idea who he was.
He's a populist. He's doing so much great things.
No, he's not. It's just that he's happy to take shotgun with Harris, and Harris didn't want to be out.
Well, what I'm saying is that he's doing stuff.
That's why Kelly would have been a good compromise pick because Shapiro would have definitely outshined her. But Kelly seems like he could have.
Shapiro, Obama wannabe?
Kelly would have been more of a nice LeBron-Kyrie tandem. You know what I mean? Where like Kelly could take the spotlight sometimes.
Well, and also, the thing to note too is that, you know, Shapiro has been pretty hawkish on the conflict in Gaza and everything. So.
Yes, that's why.
That guarantee. I just mean to say is like the problem she has becomes a slam dunk guarantee.
Joel Schaefer's from Minnesota.
Yeah,
what's that?
Minnesota. He's Joel from Minnesota, my boy.
And he's saying Walz isn't doing good things there.
I mean, I'm speaking from an outside point of view, but I understand.
You ever, Ernest? You ever listen to the press box?
I used to a lot. I stopped in the last year.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, some of it's a little long-winded, but they have.
I thought they stopped. I thought they stopped the show though.
No. They do it like 2 days a week, but they have.
I thought that they stopped the show after a while, and then I guess they continued doing it. Okay. They did. I used to love it. All right, projection coming in. We got projection coming in. All right, so Donald Trump won Ohio. No surprise there. Mm-hmm. Again, everything is going static. Everything's static.
But you're not making a prediction yet.
No.
Because I don't jinx it?
Because there's two reasons why. I'm looking at right now the information right now. Virginia is a little concerning. Now, granted, I said earlier with Mark that even in the Hillary-Trump run, even in the Romney-Obama run, the GOP candidate always takes a lead in the first 2-3 hours of Virginia. So it looks weird at first. And then by the end of the night, the Democratic nominee, Obama, Hillary Clinton, or Biden end up winning Virginia like by 11, 12 o'clock at night.
So I'm looking at Politico.com, and I see it shows Trump 198, Harris 112. And
wait, I'm at 195, 191. What did it declare for Harris now?
No, on Politico.com.
Okay, so
yours might be a little ahead. There's a lag.
No. You're ahead. CNN this gave Ohio to Trump, and it's still 91 votes for Harris.
No, it's 112 Harris, Trump 198. That's what it's showing.
I'm at 195 and 91.
But it's showing. It's interesting because it's showing Maine split. Has the one congressional vote. It's slightly pink. Nebraska is showing 2 slightly blue and 1 solidly red. Pennsylvania is a little pink.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin, too. That's kind of scary. Michigan's trending blue. Virginia's only slightly blue, and so is New Hampshire.
Well, again, as long as she wins the 3 battleground states and everything else holds as it's supposed to, she wins the election. It's that simple. It's just that simple. It's really that simple. I mean, I don't know why people are so. If you watch the news and you see patterns and you've seen electoral patterns the last how many cycles you've been following this stuff, this is what is normally happens. This is literally the same way Biden is. It makes
me nervous when I see the betting markets when they do that. You know what I mean? And maybe
that's
just
the betting markets, dude.
I don't know, man. People follow the money.
Okay,
but that's not really following the money. That's just following people who gamble.
Exactly.
You guys, because so like to that point, I forget where I saw it, but maybe it was you that mentioned this, Ernest, that like the finance markets and industrialists who we can't stand seem to be preparing for a Harris win.
Yeah. Very true. Surprised I haven't called Jersey yet.
Oh wow!
By the way,
you're gonna win it, but I'm surprised I haven't called it yet.
In unsurprising but also not disappointing news, Ted Cruz is headed back to the Senate. So.
Oh, come on, man.
Fuck Ted Cruz.
Why?
Oh, that's what it looks like. So Nancy Pelosi came out and she said Hakeem Jeffries is going to be the Speaker of the House. We have the votes. That's what she said. It looks like this. That's what they're saying. It's a really weird election because it looks like the Senate and the House are going to flip.
House.
I do not see the Democrats holding the Senate. I just don't see it.
Which I mean, honestly, if the Republicans take the Senate, that means whatever legislative agenda the Vice President Harris might have, and she wins this election, is dead in the fucking water, just like it was for the first 2 years of Biden.
Yep.
Because every piece of legislation makes it through the House. Just George Floyd, justice and policing, Medicare reform.
Biden had a majority though, but by a tiebreaker. But of course, you also had 2 people in Kristen Sinema and.
Sorry. Oh yeah, that's what it was.
That's why, because is a Manchin and Sinema prevented any progress.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the filibuster.
How long are you staying on here, Ernest?
At least till 12 o'clock.
Oh, you're a good man. You both have more endurance than me.
You have school tomorrow?
I do.
I'm a nerd for this.
Unmarried, no kids. So
did you hear that?
No, yes, kids. Oh, you have no kids. Right. You, yeah.
There's I do have school tomorrow, but there's a private school in Riverdale, Bronx that said that they'll give students the day off if they want it, like for a mental health day.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Jerry Seinfeld ripped into them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting right there.
Like I said, I if you ask me right now how I feel based on the returns right now, I would say Trump has an edge right now. But again, it's a slight edge.
Yeah, I
gotta say the Wisconsin.
I just can't wrap my brain around the idea that Americans could see the way his campaign has conducted itself in the final days of this election. And I mean, to say nothing of the last 9 years.
Well, if maybe it's the timing sometimes. Maybe this would have been more fortuitous if he had a bad couple weeks, because you could say it's been downhill ever since the Madison Square Garden event.
I think it's a lot simpler than that. I think America is just a lot more racist and misogynist than most
You
people
think
are
so?
willing to say. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
there is that.
I mean,
talking
they
about?
don't
Trump
run
is
around
making-
saying. No,
he's
I'm
making
saying
it-
like
He's
I'm saying
making
a lot more
ignorant-
Americans. I'm saying a lot more Americans, particularly in the middle, white Americans, people who maybe purport themselves to be liberal or live in, suburbs in places like California and Long Island and
I'm
elsewhere.
not disagreeing with you, but the thing is, Trump looks like he's getting a higher vote share among Latino men and black men.
He sure is. I know a lot.
Well, there's
Florida.
misogyny.
Yeah,
I don't.
No,
think
come on.
I think it's more than
You
that.
can't deny that being a component. How many people have you heard in your lifetime going, she seems smart, but I could just never wrap my mind around the idea of a woman being
No,
president.
there is.
I never
men
heard
and
anyone
women.
say that. No one would be that honest. They just say other things.
Right,
No one would respect her overseas. People don't want a female leader.
And only
Not that she seems smart.
and only
Nobody that doesn't like her never says she's.
right, and only that. We're not saying that that's not.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
It's definitely
even other people when the idea has even come up. It's just like in your lifetime, how many times have you heard people say shit along those lines or that indicate that sentiment?
There are sometimes just factors at play and stuff. I mean, I was kind of hopeful that the polls just missed on things and that there would be an overcorrection for Harris and that she would win handily.
I think I think there's a lot of something to be said about
At the end of this day, I guarantee you, it's going to come down to the fact that white women aligned with their churches, their husbands.
Well, it sounds like you're banking on Trump.
Me or
not
Mark?
banking on. I'm just saying if it breaks that way, the exits will indicate that is why.
But can we say also too, though, even if Harris wins this election, and she wins by a small margin, the Democrats shouldn't. Yeah, you should be happy you win the election, but
that has to be an autopsy.
No, but that should have been known 8 years ago, and then 4 years ago.
It's the world's a funny place, man.
I think Ernest, this goes back to what I've been saying since like the fuckery with the way that the DNC kneecapped Bernie in 2016, and it's that the Democrats are sitting on their brains and have been for a really long time. They have no fucking spine, and they don't listen to their electorate.
No,
it's really as simple as that. The people that run the DNC are fucking morons. They don't understand the landscape of what they face, and they're all on the same dole that the Republicans are. It's just that they got different people cutting them checks.
And you know why I know that too. Also,
so
Mark?
they're fat and happy. So fuck the electorate. It's
Anyway,
it's simple as that.
On that note, I'm gonna bow out. Ernest, sorry, I forgot your name.
Mark.
Mark, it's a pleasure.
Josh,
maybe if I'm up, maybe I'll try and call in again in an hour. But
okay,
we'll see.
Do what you gotta do, brother. I'll be here till 12 o'clock. So,
all right, a pleasure, guys.
You got it, brother.
Great chatting with you.
Yeah,
Take care.
Yeah, to Josh's point though, there has to be an autopsy. There has
100%. But I mean, I think it's what it's what we've all been saying all night is that we know the issues that were going to detract from people being able to align themselves with Harris, whether it's Gaza or the border or anything. The Biden, this is her cross to bear. Whether people one of the classic lines against Vice President Harris is, what has she done for anybody the last 4 years? Well, what does any vice president do for anybody? However, number one, it is noteworthy that she has broken more ties in the Senate than her last 7 or 8 predecessors. But that notwithstanding, the Biden administration has not been effective in delivering for Americans where they need it most.
Yep.
Shit is more expensive. Businesses are deregulated. Wages and productivity are still going opposite directions. This has not been an effective administration, and there has been a lot of fuckery in the Senate that has stopped legislation from getting through. Of course, you have stupidity like what happened with the border bill, and Trump kneecapping that so that he can have it as a grievance and a campaign issue. But the result is the Biden administration has not delivered for the American people in a way that is convincing that his successor and his vice president that his vice president is qualified to be his successor. He's not been they've just not been effective.
Yeah. I'm getting texts on my brother-in-law saying Virginia is scaring me. Like, yeah, a little bit, but if you're a Kamala supporter, I wouldn't be scared because this has happened many times over. Where again, the Republican candidate overperforms early. Those red-leaning precincts, report first, so it looks like it's close, and then later on, the blue-leaning precincts end up reporting later on in the metropolitan areas, and then it puts them over the top.
I just keep trying to remind myself that the last time the Dodgers won the World Series, Trump lost the election. So, like, if at least there's that.
You're still feeling good about that, aren't you? You're still feeling.
Are you kidding, dude? I know you saw all the reels from our parade and shit.
Of course I did.
And looking back on it, if I could have attended any of it, I would have way rather been at the rally at Dodger Stadium than the parade if I could have one or the other, because that shit was just like, there were parts of that I was literally in tears.
Yeah.
Watching Clayton Kershaw speak and Teoscar Hernandez speak, like, it was pretty great. And like, God, dude, that was such. I was surprised that viewership wasn't higher. It came in at 15.8 million at its peak, I think. And for example, the peak of the last 10 years, I believe, has been the Game 7 of the Cubs Guardians series in 2016. But I'm genuinely surprised viewership wasn't higher. I guess that's domestic viewership. I bet international viewership was much higher on the Dodgers-Yankees series than any of the last 8-10 years. But that's still, yeah, dude, it was incredible. And most people kind of had to know in their hearts that once Freddie hit that grand slam in game
real
1,
quick.
It was a wrap.
I'm sorry, Mark. Real quick, did he win Georgia? Did Trump win Georgia?
I don't think so.
Someone just texted me saying he won Georgia.
They're not calling it on TV. I just flipped between two channels. Here, let me see. I was just flipping back and forth a second ago. MSNBC is not calling it unless my stream is like really behind.
Let me check on.
CBS hasn't called it.
Let me check on the cesspool known as X.
ABC hasn't called it.
Okay, NBC's not calling anything yet. Georgia has not been called yet. Not only that, Fulton County hasn't even started voting. Hasn't even started counting the votes yet.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like no, because like none of the I even just flipped to PBS. Like none of them have broken in and said, because if Georgia went to Trump, they would have broken in, and there would be whooshing chyrons and animations and all that shit, right? So, and I refuse to turn on Fox.
They haven't called it yet. Honestly, Fox's coverage has been fair in the past.
Well,
they called Arizona early in 2020 before anybody else did.
No, that's true. I'm not saying I mean, if you're just calling the scores as they come in, and I'm not saying I couldn't stand to listen to people pontificate in between like important moments because it's Fox News. By the way, Ernest, I was telling my mom this. You'll appreciate it. It must be getting like deeply ingrained in me to be that I'm bi-coastal, because there's 2 burger joints that when I get back to San Diego, I have to go to. So Rocky's Crown Pub in Pacific Beach, like that place is a landmark for San Diego, or In-N-Out, which the fries are trash. I love In-N-Out, Angelino for life. In-N-Out fries are trash.
It's all right.
No, the fries are trash. The fries are trash. Unless you like animal style fries, they're gross.
No, I don't.
They're bad.
No, I'm not really for that.
They don't twice. I mean, it's wonderful that they use all fresh ingredients and everything, but the fact they don't twice fry them is criminal. That said, the minute like they started preparing us for landing, all I could think about was freaking pizza.
Everybody's texting me, what's going on? What's going on? Everybody's drinking. Like, dude, relax.
It's early. Polls don't even close for another 20 minutes in California.
I got a friend, my friend's, she goes like, Georgia going to Trump. I go, I have not seen that yet. And not only that, they already announced that.
Yeah, it's like, is that an opinion or where are you seeing that? Because no credible news outlet is reporting that.
Yeah. No, I'm on top of this shit, man. No, and not only that, they extended voting until 10 o'clock because there was a fake bomb threat apparently.
Where's
in
this?
Georgia, in Fulton County. So they extended voting.
I've been traveling all day, so I haven't seen a lot of the coverage.
And Fulton County is a predominantly Democratic 80-20 Democrat Republican ratio.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
there's a lot of
Fulton
Bowie County
County went
still.
handily to Biden in the last
Yeah.
cycle, didn't it?
Yeah, that put Biden over the top in 2020. So, no, we got a lot of time to go. Like Trump could still win this thing, but
I mean, I've been saying for a while this thing probably isn't called until Thursday,
possibly
unless some wild shit happens.
we got a projection coming very soon. It looks like I'm gonna guess New Mexico goes for Kamala at this point.
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing that right now. Again, everything's static. Everything is the way it's supposed to go. No matter who you are, Trump supporter, Kamala supporter, everything is going exactly the map as it was in 2020. You can literally replay CNN in 2020 at the same time. It'll be the same fucking thing you're watching here too on television. Literally. The only difference is we'll get votes a lot faster than 2020 because of COVID. The states I'm watching right now is Virginia. Virginia is the one I'm really looking at. Like, all right, here's a projection here. Trump wins Iowa. No surprise there. The question is the margins I want to see. And, of course, Kansas goes to Trump as well.
yeah. Again, no surprises there for any of it.
She says now it's 207. I know. 207.91. So 11 o'clock, you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4 states go to Kamala. California, Oregon, Washington, and
so they're showing Fulton County right now, and she's up 71-27.
Yeah, she needs an 80-20 honestly ratio to make that really worthwhile.
Yeah, I think if President Trump wins this election, it's ultimately going to come down to two things. White women didn't defy their communities and husbands, and they failed to message effectively on Gaza. It's those two things.
I also think a lot of it too. Also, is Trump is this. What did we say in 2018? We would remember us doing a podcast back in 2018, and Democrats always overplaying their hand and martyring this dude.
Well, and yeah, I mean, he's been sane washed. He's been all the things. I mean, the GOP platform, every candidate out there, I see it in the local ads in Suffolk, because like obviously on local television here, I'm getting ads for Nassau, Suffolk, as far as like New Jersey, and the GOP is unapologetically lying to people, and journalists, news outlets, mainstream media, aren't left and right, are not fucking calling them on it. They just don't fact check them.
Yeah.
And call lies. They don't call racist rhetoric. They don't call hateful shit. You know, they euphemize, they sane wash, they do all this bullshit. And it comes down to the fact that, you know, it's classism, you know. The moderate middle is fat and happy, so they don't care.
Right.
They don't listen to their electorate.
You can tell who follows the stuff more than others. Like people ask me, "What about California? Is she going to California?" I go, "Yeah, she's going to California." That's not even a conversation.
Yeah, that's home state, always blue.
Yeah. In fact, she's going to get 80 electoral votes in about 20 minutes. Less than that. 80 plus. Washington, Oregon, California, New Mexico. Okay. It's going to come down to the blue wall states. She could lose Georgia too and still win the election. She doesn't need Georgia. What Georgia does is it represents it closes a path for her, but it's not the path. As long as she holds every state she's supposed to hold and holds the blue wall.
Like you said, Virginia is the big question mark right now.
Right, it is right now.
North Carolina that's the wild card. Is kind of the 1A.
Right. That's the wild card. Virginia's the wild card. If Virginia goes Trump, he wins the election. That means she needs to not only win the blue wall, she needs to get probably win 2 of the Sun Belt states also on top of that. And I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening.
She'd have to win if she loses Virginia, she'd have to win Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada in order to win, right?
Or at least any combination of Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, and probably North Carolina too also.
Yeah.
It makes her path.
She has to win like at least 2, maybe 3, if not all 4 of those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's also provided she doesn't win the blue wall also too. Provided the blue wall does not stick. She needs a blue wall, number 1. She can't lose Virginia. She has to keep the state she only holds. But the blue wall is the key. As long as Virginia holds. Now, if Virginia goes to Trump, everything's out of whack then. The whole house of cards comes down. That's simple.
Sorry, which one?
Virginia. If for some reason she loses Virginia, which no one has on the bingo card, then that's a massive issue. Right now, she's down by 0.1% in Arizona. Down in Wisconsin right now by 0.2%. Trump doesn't look very tan in these pictures, actually. By the way, Donald Trump's like 20 minutes from my house, by the way. Right now. I'm
sorry.
It's okay. the West Palm Beach, they're literally like up the street from my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the where the HQ. That's where the HQ up the street from like literally 5 minutes from my job. Literally.
Ugh. Yeah, I saw so much gross crap out in California because, as many people probably don't realize, the minute you get outside of the 2-3 big cities that are obviously blue, the rest of the state is really, really red. And so, like, for example, I had to go up into the mountains outside of like LA and San Diego, and the whole ride up through Riverside, San Bernardino County, northern San Diego County, it was Trump banners, rallies on corners, like, ugh, so fucking gross.
You can't stand it, can you?
Dude, I really,
I don't know who hates him more, you or my wife, because my wife, and by the way, she seemed more pissed off at him for one reason. Her lunch break got cut short because Mar-a-Lago is literally 5 minutes from our job, literally 5 minutes from our job. But there's so much police in the area that she had traffic she had to go through to get lunch, and it cut her lunch break short. She was so fucking pissed. She called me like fuming. I'm like, sorry, babe.
Look, Donald Trump has immeasurably harmed our national discourse and this country, our standing in the world. And it's like, we have to stop treating this like it's a difference of opinion. It's not. This shit is serious. The man has been outright lying, demonizing people, and inciting violence for the better part of 10 years, to say nothing of his lifetime of fuckery.
Oh, by the way,
and then you've got his son out there saying that the Epstein list is who's campaigning for Kamala, when they've got Epstein on tape calling Donald Trump his best friend. So, like, it's just,
that tape came out too late, though. That tape had no effect.
No. I'm just pointing to how sickening it is.
Yeah.
It's
I think
truly,
what it is.
I mean, the man led a literal insurrection against this country. Is under investigation for it. Merrick Garland has been a completely absentee fucking attorney general in getting that case prosecuted. We're 3 years later, and the man is still awaiting trial. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, Ted Cruz won. Damn it.
And I don't feel totally unhinged for saying this, because I know you're a listener of The New Abnormal, and Danielle Moody spoke to the same shit with the exact same tone over the last 2 weeks.
Oh shit. I don't do it enough anymore like I used to, but how's the new crew doing? You like it?
I love it. I actually like it better than
Rick and Molly?
Rick. Yeah, way better. Danielle Moody is a fucking awesome host.
I gotta check it out again, man. It's been a while.
Yeah,
in a while. I've been really. This is like been the cycle of YouTube for me. I've been listening to a lot of. I've been on the Breaking Points, Kyle Kalinske.
Yeah.
Well, occasionally some of the conservative.
She and Andy Cohen have a really, really good repartee.
Mm-hmm.
And no, the show. I like the show a whole lot better.
My mom just texted me, "Asshole, Ted Cruz won." My mom was a former conservative. There you go.
It's not about like the people, it's not the individuals, but fuck, I hate the South, and especially Texas sometimes. God.
Weren't we talking about Texas a couple of years ago about like possibly going purple, and every time it gets some gain, then it like halts. Like I feel like that's more.
It's like the biggest prick tease in politics.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
I don't get it, man. People just hate dude, Mark. People just hate Democrats and liberals, dude. They just hate them.
Liberal, yeah, because they're awful. They're fucking awful, and they're disingenuous pieces of shit. At least Republicans are unapologetic pieces of shit. They're honest.
Joel has a question. In a way. Well, hold quick. Joel has a question. He goes, "Why wasn't Hillary prosecuted for treason? There was overwhelming evidence of it, and it was never pursued."
Stop. That's not a thing. It's been repeatedly proven over and over and over again. Congress has wasted millions of taxpayer dollars investigating this issue. It's not a fucking thing.
Personally, I don't mind her going to jail. I can't stand the woman. So,
well, no, she's a horrible person, and fuck her for a whole lot of reasons. But that's not a thing.
I wish I held my wife right now. She's good.
Fuck Bill and Hillary Clinton are awful people. Fuck them. Fuck what they did to Haiti. Fuck them for a whole lot of reasons. Yeah. That's not one of them. Focus on the shit that matters.
Yep.
Like the sweatshops they set up in Port-au-Prince for Tommy Hilfiger and whatnot.
Yep. My wife can't calm down. She's like, I can't calm down. I'm like, oh, that's it, baby. I'm trying to get you to calm down. This is going static. Everything's going static the way it's supposed to. I would be a little concerned if you look at some of these state numbers right now, currently, especially in Georgia and North Carolina. But until we get more intel, what's going on there, there's no reason to like go crazy.
It looks like the Amendment 79 in Colorado, right to abortion insurance coverage, passed handily, 61-39. So good job, Colorado.
He says same as Trump incited insurrection, which it wasn't. I mean, so
I'm not even gonna like I fully reject that statement on its face. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get off the stream. Like, seriously.
Then what was it?
It happened in real time on live television.
So if it wasn't,
you're gonna try to tell me Antifa was
real talk
about
if it wasn't an insurrection, then what was it? This a regular protest that people died? No big deal.
Yeah, how many police officers killed? Yeah, see, I'm so done with this shit. With these people claiming to be the Law and Order crowd and the Blue Lives Matter crowd, like, you're full of fucking shit. Because at least 6 police officers killed themselves over the things that happened to them on January 6th that was done by the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, and other Trump supporters waving Confederate flags, Trump flags, don't tread on me flags. I'm sorry if you think that wasn't an insurrection. If you try to say that was Antifa or some leftist conspiracy, you're a fucking idiot. I'm done giving people like this quarter. Fuck you. You're an idiot. Read a book.
You seem pretty mad about that, Mark.
I am. I absolutely am, because a number of those fucks come from my hometown and they conduct that shit in my hometown, Thousand Oaks, California, all the fucking time. I'm done with this. They put people of color, queer people, trans people, all of them in danger. They hang Nazi fucking banners like the 14 words off overpasses in my hometown. When Stuart Rhodes was meeting with Enrique Tirio on January 5th, the guy standing behind them that helped facilitate the meeting was wearing a sweatshirt, proudly proclaiming he was from my hometown. Fuck that shit.
He's saying it wasn't Trump. He didn't incite it. It could be.
He said we're going to march to the Capitol and make our fucking case, and Mike Pence better do what's right. And they had goddamn nooses in the fucking mall. What the fuck are we talking about? I'm done with people that have any kind of excuse for that day. Fuck you. You're full of shit.
I think,
and obviously, Ernest, of course, that's not you. That's for anybody. That's for anybody.
The thing with me is, I think for me also is that you can support Trump and still understand, like, hey, listen, that was wrong. What happened there? This is what I don't understand.
I don't think it's at all okay to support Trump. I don't. Everything we've seen over the last 8 years. However, to your point, you're absolutely correct. There should be no difficulty being able to support the candidate that you feel best represents your personal beliefs, and also recognize that a horrific tragedy that immeasurably harmed our country occurred that day. And it was incited by the candidate that you support. And if that's the man you support, you need to stand on that shit and quit making excuses for it. You have to say a horrible thing happened that day. My candidate caused it. I fuck with him anyway. I'm riding with him anyway. At least then you're honest.
Yeah, I get it. Well, right now I'm watching this footage right now, and Trump HQ right now looks pretty excited right now.
Well, I mean, win or lose, they're going to declare victory regardless.
Yeah, it happened in 2020, right? Remember around this time? I think it was around midnight. 12:30. No, it was 12:30 in 2020 where he declared, the election was won. When we forgot,
and it didn't get called in for another 4 or 5 days till Saturday.
No, Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
So win or lose, he's going to say he won. That's the whole point. They've been preparing for this for years.
Yeah. Well, like I said, things again. I mean, right now they're pretty excited at Trump HQ right now. I'm looking at the footage right now. Maybe their intel's are telling them something. I don't know. We'll see. We got a long way to go still. We still have California and
like I said, those states. There'll be another big drop coming in about 5-6 minutes.
Right. Again, it comes down to the 7 states we keep mentioning, and specifically the 3 blue wall states.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. People have to understand the population of this country is concentrated in a handful of places.
Yeah.
It's really not very many. The overwhelming majority of this country's population lives in a few places.
And the worst part, we do this every 4 years and people still forget how this works.
That part.
I mean, like, what's the surprise here? This is how it goes every single cycle.
Yeah, and I mean, even 2016, which the President Trump won, you would say handily, did not get called until like 3 a.m. Eastern.
Close to that, yeah. It got called at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. 2 a.m. when they
2 a.m.
PA. They call 2 a.m. East Coast Standard Time, right? Because you were still in California at the time.
No, well, I was living in California, but I happened to be in Florida.
That's right. Yeah, you were local for us at the time.
Yeah, I was at a conference in Florida on election night that year.
Here's the weird thing here in Georgia. There's still a lot of outstanding votes in Georgia, and most of them are coming from blue counties. They're showing the rhetoric. They're showing the bubble. Fulton County and Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Trump is ahead by 15% with 16% or 60% in Wisconsin. Now that's not necessarily one that the vice president has to win.
No. Wisconsin. She has to win. She has to win Wisconsin.
Oh well, she's down 15 points.
How much?
With 60%. With 15. Trump's up 56 to 41. Or 56-42.
No, not anymore. It's
sorry. I'm sorry. I was
she's only down one.
That was just in one. They're just showing one county. That's the split. Yeah. My bad. I misread the Chiron.
She's down 1%. That's it. She's down 1%.
Yeah, sorry. I misread the Chiron.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. It's gonna be a fun. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting next hour or two, because I think the next hour, all of a sudden, things are gonna be a little bit more. We'll have a better idea by 12 o'clock what's going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's all like down in gloom, like Harris is down big, but then once you get the numbers on the West Coast, there's like, oh, we're back in the game again.
That gap's gonna get a lot smaller.
Yeah, very small in about 5 minutes. Less than that.
Yeah, polls close in less than 3 minutes in California or in the West Coast.
My poor Jay, just us in. Pete Alonso to Yankees.
Okay, but
it's no time, buddy. That means Soto's going.
If we are talking about funny, I think Soto's staying in. I think Soto's staying in the Bronx. But no, I just mean to say the one that cracked me up was just the whole 45-minute saga of Garrett Cole. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, he opts out and we're signing again, another 4-year deal, no big deal. Okay.
And didn't he get 144 million out of that or something?
Yeah, that's dead on 144.
I remember
he deserves it though. It's good.
I didn't read the whole blurb that I got from Bleacher Report, but I saw that number and it was burned in my head.
Mm-hmm. Jason's awesome for that. That's right. I don't. Am I wrong for saying that I'd rather just keep Pete Alonso and then use the rest of the money you would spend on Soto to fill out the roster with pitching and good solid?
I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, they were within a squirrel's fart of getting to the World Series.
Like I understand.
I said it going into the thing that the Mets were the better team, and I thought they were going to win in 6.
Against you guys?
Yeah,
I said that going into the series. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
We were texting going into the series, and I told you that I thought it was going to be Mets in 6. But after the first 2 games, I went, "Oh, okay, different series." But I did say going into that series, I did not think the Dodgers were going to win.
All right, projection time coming. 1 minute. Here's John King, the GOAT. So right now she's behind in Pennsylvania, but ahead in Michigan and Wisconsin.
Of 2016. Right now, as we get closer into late night here, Donald Trump is leading in Pennsylvania by 116,000 votes. Only 67%, so a ways to go there, a ways to go. The Senate race is also tight. Guess what? There we are in Pennsylvania. Then you come over here. He's leading in Wisconsin. This is a state.
You hear that, right?
Yeah. Now I'm curious. Technical question. When you do the live streams like this, are you able to like share screen and
yeah,
like, throw live television up?
I'm gonna try to, but I'm scared to do it because I wonder if I get copyright strike for it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, because you don't have the express written consent of whoever the hell owns CNN now to be doing that shit.
Yeah. All right. Here's update. Here we go. Update. All right. Here we go. 11 o'clock is here. California goes to Kamala Harris. Boom. Like I told you. That's 54 votes. That's the most votes on the board. So all of a sudden the gap has changed. The gap is closed. Idaho, Donald Trump.
Yeah, you knew that was going to happen.
Washington, Oregon, totally call.
Your stream is a little ahead of mine. Like you're like 5 seconds ahead of me. A little more. Like 20.
Better?
No. I just mean it's this what sucks about streaming television is that it lags behind live.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're watching on cable or sometimes depending on the quality of your internet or any number of factors, you can be right on. You can be, like anywhere up to, I've noticed about 30 seconds behind. I don't have.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't have a spreadsheet to track that or anything, but, but that's been like just my personal observation.
So,
and yeah, so like Pennsylvania, they only got 68% in. Michigan, only 29% in. You know what I mean? It's like you've been saying all night. It is so early.
But that's the thing also. And again, when you look at the map, you look inside the states itself, what has reported so far? In Georgia, there's still a lot of blue precincts that are still haven't been counted yet. That can make up. So the gap. So for example, right now in Georgia, the gap.
Yeah, the most populated precincts are the ones that are going to take the longest.
The two of them. And they're 80-20 Democrat Republican. Now here's the thing also too, people don't understand too. Also, at the same time, 4 years ago, Donald Trump had a bigger lead against Biden than he has against Kamala right now. At this point, before those votes started coming in.
God, Adam Schiff and Steve Garvey for Senate, too early to call. Please, like as a diehard Dodger fan, God help us if Steve Garvey gets elected to the Senate.
Is it wrong that I just can't stand Adam Schiff though? He's like
he's insufferable. He's such a douchebag.
Douche. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
He's like the worst kind of surrogate for Democrats to have. Like, come on, dude. You're just a fucking.
It's that to me. It's that whole riff by Michael in Office Space.
Mm-hmm.
When he talks about it, like, why should I change my name? He's the one who sucks. Everything was going fine until that no talent ass clown started winning Grammys. That's Adam Schiff in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's just annoying. Like, even though he may say the right things you want to hear, it's just the way he delivers. It seems annoying.
Most Democrats are douche nozzles.
Most Democrats on top of the party. Yeah, the surrogate.
The leaders of the party are insufferable, annoying charlatans. Like, yeah, I'll go as hard at those asshats as I will at the GOP with whom I don't with whom I don't agree. Those people are full of shit. They pander, they placate, and they ultimately do nothing because they're also on the take too. Mm-hmm. Like, I can call a spade a spade. Your turn, Republicans. Let's talk about January 6th again.
Jason
Many
says,
things can be true.
I'm assuming Jay's on the election. Right now, I have it at 211-145 right now currently. They haven't called any other states for Trump yet. All the background states still
Yeah.
being tied up.
The only ones from the 11 o'clock, the only one from the 11 o'clock reporting that went to Trump is Idaho, right?
Yeah, Idaho's only one.
Yeah.
And the only other state I think left for Trump to win at this point, for now, that's guaranteed he's going to get, is Alaska, I think. I think Trump got all the states he's going to get for the time being. Other than Alaska.
Now it's time for all the puff pieces to start rolling.
But now is where the games begin. So because Kamala's going to win the following. Kamala's going to win Oregon. She's going to win Oregon, Washington State, and New Mexico. Okay. So then once all the guaranteed blue and guaranteed red states are out of the way, then the ball game begins. Now we get to the 7 states that matter.
Yeah.
Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and North Carolina.
Yeah.
So Trump is ran up the score he needed to run up now. He's gotten to the ceiling now. He's gotten to his guarantee 211.
Mm-hmm.
And Kamala will get to her number in a second once she gets to the other states that report blue. Then we get to the real ball game now. And again, so far, no flips yet. Everything has gone the exact way it went in 2020. The exact way. Every state's been that's called the races. Yeah, Jay, absolutely. Pennsylvania's ball game. Pennsylvania is the absolute ball game. We've been saying it for the last fucking 5 years. Pennsylvania has been the be-all, end-all race of the last now 3 races now. This is the third one. It was in 2016. It was also in 2020, and it will be in this election too also. There's really not a path. Like, she can win without Pennsylvania, but she would have to win both Michigan and Wisconsin and North Carolina and either Arizona and Nevada. And I don't see that happening. I don't see that.
Yeah.
Now, if everything holds as is, if Kamala holds everything as is, Virginia's right now, she's leading Virginia again, by the way, for record. But she wins those 3 states. If she wins just the blue wall and holds everything else, she wins the election. She gets that's 270. But along with the Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, so far everything is tracking the same way it did in 2020, which resulted in a blue win.
Right.
So
you guys listen to the stream. Stop paying attention to the electoral map at this point now. It doesn't matter anymore. Pay attention to the individual states right now that's still counting votes in the states and see where the votes are coming from. That's more important at this point now. That's what.
Yeah, it's the split. It's the splits in the heavily populated counties in the 7 states that we mentioned. So
right, exactly.
all those major metropolitan areas, whether it's Vegas or Charlotte or Durham, Philly, Pittsburgh, all those places. It's all going to come down to those splits. And as they circle back on those, we'll be able to get a better idea of how the state may ultimately break.
Yeah.
Because we know the rural counties in all these swing states, the least populated counties in all these states, all those districts on the outliers are going red. That's how they break in every state in this country. Mm-hmm. Rural areas break red almost 100% of the time.
Right. Yeah, they're going to call Oregon and Washington very soon.
Including in California.
Yeah, they call California. California's in the blue.
No. I'm just saying rural districts break red, including in California.
They haven't even called Minnesota yet.
Yeah, If you look at a map of California in a nutshell, it looks like a national electoral map when like 2020, for example. San Francisco, Oakland, LA, San Diego proper, those places all break blue, and the rest of the state pretty much breaks red. But those districts have so many freaking people in them that handles it.
All right. So, yeah, Trump has won every state guarantee other than Alaska right now.
And that's not going to get called for another 2 hours.
Joel's calling. Yeah. Which one? Alaska. Yeah. No.
Alaska's not going to get called for another 2 hours. So
Joel says the upset. He has it going red. Really? I don't see it happening. I haven't seen any polling to suggest that it's going to go even close to red. Like, that's a lean blue state. Minnesota hasn't gone red in a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
when was the last time a Republican won Minnesota? Was like 2000?
Probably Bush in 2000.
Maybe 2004.
I'm checking right now. I don't think it went in 2004 either. Minnesota's gone red in a very long time.
Yeah. Wisconsin's the one that's a coin flip most of the time because it's
Yeah,
a wonky state
no,
that way.
Wisconsin is a swing state. Wisconsin
Yeah.
has been a swing state for the last like 4 cycles now.
But yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Minnesota hasn't gone red in 25 years.
All right, so let's go Minnesota presidential history. So here we go. It went blue in 2020, obviously. It went blue in 2016. It went blue in 2012. It went blue in 2008. It went blue in 2004. It went blue in 2000 itself.
Oh,
It went blue in 1996. It went blue in 1992. It went blue in 88. 84. Reagan. No.
when that
No. Wrong.
80,
No, not even. Reagan. Remember Reagan won every state but one.
it was
That's
Minnesota.
that's the ones that he lost. Minnesota has not gone blue.
Or has not gone red, you mean?
Has not gone red in my lifetime. 80
There you
blue.
go.
Minnesota blue. 84. 76 blue. So it hasn't gone blue since Gerald Ford was president. Oh, red rather. So you're looking at a very Trump has.
And again, even in states where polling has closed, hours ago, big cities take time.
yes, like
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of votes need to be counted.
the reason PA is going to take a long time is because of Philadelphia County. Philadelphia is the reason why it'll take a long time. Philadelphia is predominantly, yeah.
I mean, Philadelphia is a city of what, 1.3, 1.4 million people, something like that.
Yeah.
So you got at least 800,000 voters. No, not that many. Well, I don't know. I don't know the demographics there well enough. I'm not going to hang my head on any of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the, Philadelphia, Allentown, Scranton, the east side of Harrisburg, like all the big cities that you would expect so far are projecting blue, and we'll see. 88% of the votes are in. There's lots still to be counted in Pennsylvania, so she pulls that out. That'll be a nice exhale for their headquarters.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we start to see any of the the big seven. We'll start calling them.
No,
I don't think we start to see those go before 1 o'clock.
The first state that is going to call. I would have said Georgia, but Georgia has the shit with the.
Georgia's messy. Georgia's
well,
messy
now
when it comes to tabulation.
Well,
no, but they were messy they were slow in 2020.
Yeah, but now, especially with the bomb threat happened in Fulton County, then now.
Well, and just everything that's been going on there the last 4 years with, the fake electors and Giuliani and all the demonization of election workers. Like I said, Georgia been messy.
No, that's not. Yeah, Jason, I don't know what you're watching there, buddy. Honestly. Put on CNN. They're the most accurate of the because they don't call things until they actually have information on there. No, that's not even. I mean,
it's not real. It's not.
Probably,
there's no information. There's no indicator. There's no data to suggest that Minnesota is going to break red when it hasn't in 50 plus years.
Well, he's saying that he's getting 246, 179. Jason? What are you watching exactly? What station are you watching exactly? Because they're probably making projections. They're probably making like predictions and stuff. But no, they're not projected to. They haven't called those states yet.
I'm gonna flip through the channels, but right now they're all pretty consistent. As of this moment, it's 214, 153 across the board. And I'm
really?
even gonna go.
No, dude, you're ahead of me. You're ahead of me. I have 211, 145.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's we'll run it down. MSNBC was 214 to 153. Let's see where they've got PBS. PBS is probably the most trustworthy. They don't have it on the screen.
He says
now.
Fox News Nation is 246. Okay.
Yeah, PBS isn't showing it right now. Let's try ABC. Harris, Trump 214, Harris 153, according to ABC.
Yeah. Everything's static still. Everything's still static. They've already called like other states that we haven't called yet. CNN is the most conservative of the stations in terms of like calling these races.
Yeah.
Like, I remember 2020, they called Arizona for Biden before CNN did. CNN said, we're not going to call it. We're not going to call it yet.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Young Turks don't have, they're doing a North Carolina breakdown right now, which is showing Trump winning 51-48, a lead of about 136,000 votes roughly. But you know, when looking at like Wake County and stuff, and Mecklenburg County, Orange County, Durham, Granville, those are all your, you know, kind of your highly populated blue spots. Harris is winning pretty handily, but it looks like she's not winning necessarily by as much as she needs to. Like in Guilford County, she's up 61-38 right now. I don't obviously have that kind of information in front of me to know what the split was on that 4 years ago. But it looks like she's not necessarily winning by the margins she needs to in North Carolina.
Yeah, everything is static now, bud. Everything.
Shoot, local Fox. Let's see. I'm curious to see what Fox News has. Trump 216, Harris 193. I wonder what 40 they're giving to the vice president on Fox.
So I'm on 145 right now, currently on CNN. You said 153.
Fox has them at 216, 193.
Okay, they probably gave her Minnesota, Oregon, and Washington, and probably also New Mexico. CNN's not doing that yet. CNN's holding back on that.
Okay. Oh, thank God! Adam douche nozzle in California has is the projected winner for the Senate seat.
Who's that?
Congressman douche nozzle.
Oh, Cruz?
No, Adam Schiff.
Oh,
California.
Oh, congrats, we stupid ass.
Congressman douche nozzle. From I believe he's from the LA area too, which is annoying as hell. Although honestly, I've got smoke with a number of LA representatives, whether it's Mayor Bass or the fact that Jim McDonald got appointed. I mean, this is kind of this smoke for her. But so, do you remember a number of years ago when myself and my friends and neighbors in Los Angeles were campaigning hard, so that Robert Luna would win the sheriff? Well, Jim McDonald was one of the candidates in that race, and he's the former sheriff of Los Angeles. He just got Karen Bass made him police chief, and they're proposing to pay him a base salary of $500,000. Now, for reference, that is more than the president makes. That is more than the mayor of Los Angeles makes, and unless I'm mistaken, that is also more than Governor Newsom makes. And all of that is before bonuses or any other kind of benefits. In the case of his predecessor, Michael Moore, his base salary was $350, and last year he cleared $650. So it stands to reason that if his base is $500, he's going to clear at least $750, $850, or more. So. Yeah, plenty of, going back to our earlier point about what a fucking farce the DNC is and its leadership and, prominent Democrats. Like, it's just such a far cry from anything honest or trustworthy, because they're all full of shit.
Right.
They all had their fists in the air and kneeling in Congress in 2020, and then they just give more and more money to cops and continue to underfund the social services or defund the social services, which we know are the things that affect change in communities, because it's what we see happening in other much more progressive countries.
So News Nation is reporting, according to my friend, News Nation is reporting Trump is up 246 to 162. They're the only publication that's giving states early. They already gave Georgia to Donald Trump.
Is News Nation just like trying to pull viewers or something? I find them to be really good, and like most of the time, like I used to watch News Nation all the time in the morning. I loved their morning news coverage, but like, huh? How are you that far out in front of everybody else?
Yeah,
like what do you know? What do you know that we don't know? Or are you just caping for ratings?
Yeah,
I do.
The AP has 214 to 179 for Trump. Jason is saying News Nation has 242 169 on News Nation. They called for Trump.
I don't trust that call because it doesn't align with.
They didn't call anything with Trump yet. I don't know why Carolina's going to call for Trump. They haven't called anything for Trump yet on anywhere. I don't see any publication saying Trump called for Trump yet in Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I bet without even looking, I would venture to guess Newsmax and OAN don't even have it that high.
No. I'm going to follow CNN.
Even Fox isn't close to that.
No, Fox isn't even calling that.
No, I don't trust that call. No, I don't doubt that that's what they're displaying. Of course, I'm sure I trust Jason's eyes if he's watching TV, but I don't trust the decision desk at News Nation at the moment.
Yeah. He's saying they said Georgia and North Carolina Trump won. Joel has 230-179. I can believe that, but I don't see anybody calling other than the stations. Okay, the AP is definitely reputable. Usually she's all said the Yankees should have won the World Series.
What's that?
They said the Yankees also should have won the World Series.
Nice. I like you, Jason. You're a good egg.
Okay, so yeah, they call Carolina for Trump. Wall Street Journal.
Okay, let's see here. MSNBC hasn't yet, but that might just be my internet. PBS, let's check you. Nope, they're still breaking down Pennsylvania splits. No wild animations there. Same for ABC. Daily Show's at commercial.
Yeah, has one path left.
Yeah, all the networks that I'm flipping over to, including like the more obscure ones, are not showing North Carolina being called yet. So add Wall Street Journal to the list of people I call sus for now.
No, I think reputable, to be honest with you. All right, so Wall Street Journal has Trump winning North Carolina and North Carolina for now.
Yeah, which is not necessarily material provided Virginia holds out, correct?
Say it again?
No, winning North Carolina is not necessarily material to victory provided that Virginia holds out for the vice president. Is that correct? Like she doesn't have to win North Carolina as long as she wins Virginia.
But what it does now, it shortens her path though. She
has
to win.
It's going to get a lot now. Now she
has to win the blue wall. There's no now the insurance policy.
Well, I mean, if she loses North Carolina and Virginia, it's a wrap. Yeah, if she doesn't win either North Carolina or Virginia, it's a wrap. By the way, did you see the slice I sent you?
What was that? The what now?
Before we hopped on, did you see the picture of the slice I sent you?
Yeah, of course.
God, I was so happy.
I need pizza. I need real New York pizza though.
Yeah, you got to get up here and visit, man.
I know, man. I miss home. I miss home sometimes.
My mom's probably going to come out for Christmas. She checked her airline miles, and she's like, "I think I can do it." All right, let's see it. Looks like they're. Is Illinois to Harris a new call? I just saw that pop up on the screen.
Well, anything Domino's is Jason goes, Domino's New York pizza is awful. Well, anything that's professed to be New York pizza from a
Jason,
chain is shit.
That's a strike. You were my favorite, and that's disappointing.
Jason, no, she's going to be Minnesota. Jason, she's going to be Minnesota. Minnesota has not gone Republican since before I was born. She's going to be Minnesota. She has to win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. That's it. That's the three she needs to win. Minnesota. She's going to win Minnesota. That's not a problem. The race begins really with because now that Carolina's out the picture now, it's now 6 states left for her to win in the six battleground states. She has to win Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, or else she has to sweep the Sun Belt,
which is not likely.
No.
And shout out to Kentucky. They don't get a lot of things right election-wise out there, but the land of my mama's kin shot down a ballot measure that would have given much more unrestricted voucher access to private religious schools, and instead the people of the bluegrass state are going with public education. So, way to go, y'all. All right, so in the uncalled battlegrounds, Trump's up 2.5, North Carolina 2.7 with 87% in.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, he's up 3.4. Arizona's 0.1. Michigan, Harris is up. Yeah, see, none of the big ones are calling North Carolina yet. It's only News Nation and Wall Street Journal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but those are reputable. Those are reputable. Wall Street Journal is very reputable. And if AP's calling that too, also the AP.
You said AP was?
AP called North Carolina, so I believe them.
Okay. Yes, even Fox has still got North Carolina too early.
Yeah.
I am struggling to release my frustration over people's tendency to be first over right. I'll say that.
Yeah. Of course. Yes. I remember Trump ripping a fucking asshole to Fox News in 2020 because they were saying Biden. They were saying giving Biden Arizona.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, and
CNN didn't do shit.
But yeah,
CNN do shit.
CNN
like,
yeah, he was blowing people up at Fox News for calling it. But sorry, Mr. President, they were correct.
All right, so Joel just said an update. Says the AP has right now 230 to 187 right now currently. That means they haven't reported to Minnesota yet. Minnesota hasn't reported yet. Neither has Washington State. Hawaii still to report. Again, it comes down. Yeah. Right now, Trump is the favorite. Right now, look, I'm not going to bullshit you. Trump is the favorite to win this right now. Trump is absolutely the favorite right now. Kamala has a path, but the path is narrow now. The path is blue wall. Win the blue wall. I wonder if they call Virginia yet for them. That's why the numbers are higher for Kamala than I thought. They haven't called Virginia for Kamala yet. Multiple sources. Sorry, guys. I'm texting my wife and everybody else just to ask me questions. Virginia's not called yet. Yes. So Kamala should win Virginia.
Yeah,
Virginia has
she's expected to win Virginia. It's very, very close, and no one's calling it yet. But yes, she is expected to win it.
Nevada's a toss-up, definitely. I don't have any feeling on that. Is AK? What's AK? You saying AK is?
That's Alaska.
Yeah, that's Trump. That's Trump's guarantee.
What is that, like three quarters of an electoral vote for the 11 people that live there?
Very, very small.
Like
3 or 4. It's very small.
I'm totally being an asshole.
Very small. Very small. Yeah. She said Ray said Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota when we call tonight. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Well, because they've also been doing a ton of early voting in those states.
Yeah, exactly. And Pennsylvania's rules are they do their mail-in ballots at 8:00, which people are pissed about that. But again, Republicans voted for that, for the record. No one knows that. Republicans in the state voted for
overwhelmingly voted for that
rule to count mail-in ballots after 8:00. So when Trump got mad about that in 2020, it was stupid because be mad your party. Your party voted for that. That was a Republican measure. Remember, again, facts.
I vaguely recall that. I do remember that.
I don't make the rules. I just get information as is. So be mad if you want.
Be as mad as you want, but be mad at the right person.
Here's my question.
That's just good advice for life.
Let's talk, partisanship aside. Let's talk about this real quick. Because I think Trump did the right thing in people. I got a lot of
Trump's never done the right thing.
Stop it.
I'm kidding.
I got pushback. I got pushback from this from my wife. Everybody I'm close to. Trump doing Rogan, Trump doing podcasts, I thought was huge for him. I think Kamala not doing that stuff enough.
She absolutely no, stop it. She absolutely did. She did Shay Shay. She did Call Her Daddy. She did a lot of the big ones. But I mean,
I think the play.
I think it would have been a waste of time for her to go sit there in Joe Rogan's house in Austin for 2.5 hours.
You think so? I
think it would have been an absolute waste of time because his audience was never gonna fuck with her. Like, come on. That's the people who are apologizing for Tony Hinchcliffe. Stop it.
I would argue. I would argue that if she had did that podcast, maybe he doesn't endorse Trump. Maybe he just stays out of it because he was able to humanize Kamala. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive here, but I just think that.
Man.
I think when you don't go and do those podcasts, it makes you look like you're hiding something. It looks like you're, I don't know. Maybe I'm being wrong here. I don't know. Maybe.
No, I wholeheartedly disagree because Joe Rogan, if you listen to the things he says, has been unapologetically and pretty outspokenly conservative, and has given plenty of hints to both who he supports and what he believes. And I think it would have been a huge waste of time for the vice president to go sit in his fucking house for 3 hours or however long he needed her to be there. No.
Is this?
Is she going to sit down with Jordan Peterson next? Like,
yeah. If Trump wins this tonight, when that's tonight, tomorrow, whatever it is going to be, is this a referendum on Joe Biden?
Absolutely. 100%. And on Chuck Schumer.
Why Schumer?
Because what have you done to beat back the filibuster and try to get out of the desk any of the bills that made it through the House under Mitch McConnell's tenure? Whether it's the Green New Deal, whether it's the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, whether it's the elimination of student debt, some of the student debt measures. Like, there were dozens of bills that made it through the House that Mitch McConnell shelved, and Chuck Schumer has been completely spineless and ineffective to do anything about. Now, granted, I understand the filibuster rule and how it works, but do something. Or at least be loud on TV about what a fucking travesty it is. Something. I live in New York and I don't see Chuck Schumer on my TV. He's
right.
not doing my podcast.
I get that.
No.
Hold on, wifey's calling. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
You need a animation for that.
Okay, hold on. I'm live streaming Mark right now. I'm live streaming Mark right now. Yeah. That's okay. What's up? What's the vibe in the poker room right now? Everyone's quiet. No one's caring. No one's waving. No. Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. She has one path. That's it. That's funny. I don't know. It was a long commercial break. All right, buddy.
Hold on. For some reason, hold on.
So my wife is freaking out. Obviously, she's
My
very much.
for some reason, my headphones are not connecting to my. I
So-
need headphones so badly.
Here. Okay, here's the.
Hold on 1 second. I'm having some technical difficulty.
Okay,
now.
okay.
Well, and I think it goes back to what I'm going to be interested to figure out and to find out once we get all the details for Kamala Harris to defeat.
Test. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So Harris and
Okay.
Virginia are ready.
Sorry. Yeah.
Harris won Virginia. So again, okay. So let me share this real quick though. If you're Kamala Harris, the good news, everything has gone chalk so far. Everything has gone
Exactly the way it's supposed to.
The bad news is you're losing paths to win this election. Now you have to win Michigan. You have to win Wisconsin. You have to win Pennsylvania. No.
Yeah.
There's no other,
Any 2016 upsets, and you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even lose Georgia, but as long as you win the 3 battleground states and hold everything else, Virginia was the wild card. She's going to win Virginia now. That's off the table. But she has to win the other 3 states. Now, one of my friends has said that they have Trump as a favorite to win Wisconsin right now. We'll see. This is why you count the votes. Look, here's the bottom line. Whether you voted for Donald Trump or didn't vote for Donald Trump, this is the will of the people. This is the will of the people, whether you like it or not. You know?
I mean,
This is why you vote.
Look, I'm sickened by it, but
I know when I say that, people get pissed at me. Well, bottom line, you're just one vote. This is why you vote.
And again, this is a failure of Joe Biden and the Democratic Party and their members of Congress and the legislators in the state houses to deliver for Americans. They've been sitting on their fucking hands for 4 years. What have they done to materially change the direction of this country since 2020? In 2020, there was a $4 trillion wealth shift from the bottom 90% to the top 10% in this country, and it has only gotten more exacerbated since. What can the Biden administration and the vice president, as a result of that and her campaign, point to save a handful of measures that most people don't understand? You're talking about like little Pyrrhic victories of, minimal adjust. Like, yes, I'm sure for the people for whom their student debts have been relieved, their lives are forever changed. I'm not diminishing that in any way, shape, or form. The president had the ability and the time to eliminate all student debt, which is a fucking fraud and a crime against American students. He's had ample time to get this done, and he has failed to do so. What has he done to raise wages in this country? What has he done to make healthcare more acceptable? What has he done to incorporate mental health services into the natural healthcare landscape? What has he done to expand Medicare and Medicaid? What has he done to make housing more accessible? Electricity, internet, improve education. They can't point to any significant victory.
No.
And really, Americans haven't gotten a major policy victory since, gay marriage legalization and the Affordable Care Act. What landmark pieces of legislation have materially changed the landscape of this country since? It's been almost 15 years.
Josh Jacobs said it best early in the podcast. He said that if and when Trump wins this election, if it wasn't clear in 2016, a massive autopsy has to be done on this party.
Well, I don't even really think that's necessary in a way, because you and I have been screaming it at the top of our lungs for the better part of 9 years. It's not a mystery.
Yeah.
The goddamn Democrats don't listen to the people. They don't work for the people.
I mean, I'm not Democrats. I care less.
They legit. Okay, when you talk about debating issues and they say this is my view on this issue and this is my opponent's view on an issue, yes, they are, academically correct, but they have not matched their rhetoric with their action. Plain and simple. And that is a problem much older than the Biden administration for this for this party.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I'll feel like it's a big fucking mystery. You know what I'm saying?
All right, projection. So Kamala wins Washington.
Okay.
That's again, everything's still chalk. Everything's still going chalk. Connecticut will go Kamala.
Yeah, MSNBC is calling.
Jason said Maine going to Trump, but I think that's the district. There's a state that Maine splits their votes though, so I don't think that's Maine that won that Trump with Trump. It was the small district with the Maine. The actual Maine state will go to Kamala also.
Yeah, I think so too because Portland and any I literally couldn't tell you. What is it? Portland, Bangor. And Montpelier. Isn't Montpelier the capital?
I don't know exactly. No.
I think so. That's like, dude, you're taking me back to like fucking 11th grade.
Arizona's tight. Arizona's really tight right now. I'm surprised.
But yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Bangor, Portland, and Montpelier are the three biggest cities, and I would venture to guess all of those break for Kamala. All three of those districts.
Trump was Nebraska.
Again, yes. I'm not like an expert pollster or election person. I'm just a fucking nerd. So what do I know? But
yeah, Trump was Nebraska. No, that's not a surprise. Maine and Nebraska are the only two states that split their votes. It's like a little commonwealth where there's like one vote or two votes in that goes separate. And she'll win that one vote. The majority will go to Trump. And then in Maine is the opposite. Like Trump will win probably that other like separate like single vote, but then the rest of the Maine will go to Kamala. To Kamala, right? Again, everything's gone static, but again, I'm looking at the internals here right now, and look, I want to see Michigan's internals again because Michigan, he's up by 4% in Michigan right now. I don't know how many votes are reported so far, but he's putting up leads now in Pennsylvania and Michigan right now currently, and Wisconsin. That's concerning. If you're a Kamala Harris supporter, that's concerning. And at this point,
yeah, none of those splits are encouraging. Not a single one of them.
No. So let me see any more internals. Yeah, he's up 1.4% in PA. The only thing I will say about that, Jay, is that there's still votes coming from Philadelphia. So for her Kamala to make up ground on that one, she has to run an 80-20 ratio to make up ground. Which happened, again, this happened also in 2020. He was up 5% in Pennsylvania, but again, the mail-in votes came in late.
Exactly. That's it. That's the other thing we literally have not even whispered a word of is absentee mail-in. So those votes, if some of these states come down to razor thin margins tonight, tomorrow, what have you,
yeah,
this thing won't be over for a while.
He's saying why they call New Jersey but not Pennsylvania, and Trump is leading more in percentage because even though they know they already count those votes, they haven't reported them to the publications, but they already count those votes and they already have enough intel to make that projection. That's why they do that.
Correct.
That's very common also with in elections to have to happen. They already know the number already. They have to send the numbers. They send the numbers later to the or news organizations, if you will. So, yeah, man. The thing with me, I have group chats of Republicans, Trump supporters, and a group chat with Democrats and this and that. And I'm getting two different. Even the Trump supporters are still.
Have you been following the Nebraska? Quick sidebar. Have you been following the Nebraska Senate race? It's been flip flopping all night.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you have an independent running against the Republican incumbent. The independent, I believe his name is Dan Osborne. I can't think of the incumbent's name, but it's the sitting senator from Nebraska. And he was up like 53, 46, 7 or something like that. And now she's up like 50.8 to 49.2. So that one's, I don't know anything about that race other than
Right.
that it's been fun to watch the score change. Couldn't tell you shit about either one of their positions, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the incumbent senator's voting record in my worldview don't often align, if at all.
Yeah, yeah. So to Jason's point also about the Nebraska, so yeah, there's 5 electoral votes in Nebraska. 3 goes to Trump. The other 2 will likely go to Harris. Maine, I think, it's the same number too. Also, they split it as well too. I don't know if it's 3 and 5, but
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like based on how they do a split
yeah,
awarding of the electoral votes based on, so if the state is 60-40, the one candidate gets 3, the other candidate gets 2. I said, okay, I didn't realize that. Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't realize that that's how those states were awarded.
So Michigan's ahead by 5% points. Still a long way to go with the voting on Michigan, but he's up by 5% right now in Michigan. A little less than 5% in Michigan. Wisconsin,
Okay.
he's ahead by 3%. Still a lot of. Oh, dude, Wisconsin's actually reporting a lot more already now. That's concerning for Kamala. Definitely.
Say that again.
He's up 2.8% in Wisconsin, but 3/4.
I'd be curious. I'm gonna start pulling stuff up on my laptop, but I'd be super curious to see though how far along Milwaukee is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to look at the internals. Yeah, Georgia looks like it's going to go Trump's way also too. Arizona, he's up by 0.5 right now. In Arizona.
Okay, this is where I'm totally ignorant, and I'm this like where I say I straddle the line between Gen X and millennial. This is like me having a Gen X moment. I get all this information from my TV. Where do you go? What's a good resource on the internet to be able to basically have a Steve Kornacki big board of your own and break and like look at internals and like what's a good website for that? Do you have a recommendation?
Oh, that I mean in real time, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not in real time.
Okay.
I don't know in real time. I don't know.
Well, I basically
CNN,
just have.
Yeah,
Okay.
CNN. John King's the best. John King,
That's the shit. That's the shit that they spend all their money on their decision desks for. We don't have access to as viewers and voters.
Because John King will sit there and break down counties and
okay.
he'll break down what's left out there, what votes out there.
All right.
He's so good at this.
I felt like maybe one of those big boards, like because now they have these like freaking giant iPads on every network and it's just so seamless. I was like, I have to assume that there's something along those lines that exists for us to just go on a website and look at it. But no, it seems that may not be the case.
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting. Okay. Well, shit. There you go. Maybe I wasn't as ignorant as I thought because such technology has not made it to our fingertips yet.
my buddy just said that Trump they're saying that Trump could actually win the popular vote too on top of this.
Get the
1% by 1%.
Man, I hate white people.
Just stop it. You're white. Shut up.
No, but like I'm so disappointed. No, but you know what I'm saying.
We got to figure out where is the messaging breaking down? Where is it? Where is the messaging?
Well, okay, look. It's two things. Democrats have failed to deliver, and white people are leaning into their misogyny and their internalized racism. Whether they say the N-word at parties, you know, like I was saying earlier in the stream, they don't give a shit if other people get hurt as long as they feel like their individual position is going to improve. And that sentiment is, I've personally witnessed it in all these places where I've lived that are, 96 and 98% white. I've heard people say it at barbecues. Like, they don't give a shit if brown kids end up in cages if their 401k goes up another 5%.
Yeah.
And it may sound craven. It may sound hard for people to wrap their heads around, but it's facts. And I think we need to stop trying to pretend like it's some fucking complicated Rubik's Cube puzzle and just say the thing.
Yeah.
White people in this country are overwhelmingly racist and misogynist, and that they wield a great deal of power in this country as they always have, and they are deathly afraid of relinquishing any of that power, influence, or control. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as it also, and then you could basically say all the same things about class with like rich and poor. Rich people and employers don't give a fuck about workers or their employees. It's all about the bottom line. And the only way these things are going to be gotten is if they're fought for.
Jason just said that Wisconsin had a issue of 108,000 votes voted and being recounted, and we'll have an answer until tomorrow. Okay.
In where is that?
In Wisconsin. 108,000 voted and being recounted, and we'll have an answer until tomorrow. Votes
Interesting.
will count. Yeah, they got to recount votes. And that's a lot of votes.
Yeah.
A lot of votes.
So there you go, and that's a critical swing state. So again, plenty of time left in this game. Shit, the Dodgers were down 5 in the 5th inning and they still won. So
also, it was an error by Garrett Cole. We'll go another 10 minutes and then
but yeah, I like. It's no secret because it's if President Trump wins, I guarantee you this. Like, for example, if you were to compare and contrast 2016 versus 2024, provided of course that President Trump wins, I don't think the split, like the gain of Latino and Black voters, whether that be gender split, irrespective, I don't think it's going to be as stark as, for example, white women. And what I fail to understand is just how it, provided what I'm saying is true, but also just from what I've personally observed, how many white women are voting against their own medical interests and the medical interests of millions of other women and people who have uteruses, like I just don't get it. It is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, I see a point. Definitely see a point there. Virginia is just a comment for
how sure. Yeah. How any woman or person capable of birth could vote for a Republican in 2024, given what we have seen across the South, and what they have said unapologetically, whether in Project 2025 rallies or anywhere else, because it has been said ad nauseum, like they are stripping your rights. Women are dying. IVF is becoming inaccessible, and contraception will be next. A national abortion ban is on the table. How anyone could vote for, again, how any woman or person capable of birth could vote for a Republican 2024 is just beyond my comprehension.
I still think, in a lot of ways too, Democrats overplayed their hand with Donald Trump. You keep calling him Hitler and all this bullshit. It doesn't hit anymore. I've been saying this for years. You don't need to be extra Donald Trump.
Well, so okay, hit
him on policy. Hit him on policy.
100%. And the problem that Democrats have is that they don't have a good record to point to. And I wouldn't say they're overplaying their hand now because the threat is emergent. Project 2025 has laid out the Fourth Reich. Like,
yeah,
it's readily available.
If indeed that happens,
however, calling him Hitler in 2016 is why it doesn't land now.
Right.
You were right to say he has autocratic tendencies, but the simple truth is, okay, given the severity of that threat, why did you kneecap Bernie Sanders when all indicators were he would have won the general handily?
Because the party doesn't care, dude.
Well, no, exactly. Exactly. And why have you failed to deliver for Americans on any major critical issue, social, financial issue that has been exacerbated in this country for 40 fucking years? If this threat was so emergent, don't you think you would have worked a little harder for Americans in order to have a track record to point to ensure that something like Project 2025 couldn't come to life? It's fucking it's maddening.
Mm-hmm.
It's maddening.
My cousin just sent me a text. He goes, hold on. Let's get you a second. The New York Times predicted that he'll get 299 electoral votes. A few less than he got in 2016, but still significant considering where we're at as a country. Let me see the text I was going to tell you. I'm going to share with you real quick. He goes, he says racism. He says, shame on us for thinking the black woman had a chance. I think people underestimate how unpopular Joe Biden is. I think there are really good people in this country, whether or not they vote for Trump or not. I think people underestimate just how unpopular Joe Biden is.
It's mind-boggling to me that he was the candidate in 2020, and I said as much at the time. I was outraged that he was the candidate. Democrats have not put forth a winning candidate since President Obama. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden were profoundly awful selections. And I said it during both cycles. I was going to hold my nose and vote for them because I understand what a threat Donald Trump and what a fucking moron Donald Trump is and what a threat all of his sycophants and followers are. However, Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton were awful candidates. They don't give a shit about regular people. They don't.
No.
And to say otherwise, like, I'm sorry. There's no evidence to support your claim. And I'll go as hard at the libs
which claim? Which claim?
Huh?
Which claim?
No, I'm just saying, like, Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton don't give a shit about regular people, and any lib who wants to cape for them, I will go with them as hard as somebody who makes excuses for January 6th.
The libs
you're full of shit.
The libs that cape for them are the libs that are established, older, you know.
As the night goes on, I'm definitely going to eat.
Yeah,
go on.
The vote blue no matter who crowd, you know, just come out and support us. Who cares, regardless? There's that crowd.
It's disgusting.
I warned about this months ago.
I mean, I was really, really, really conflicted. I mean, up until October 7th, if you were to compare Biden, Clinton, or Harris was the candidate I would have say I liked the best and agreed with the most. That I have issues with all of them, but would be my pick among the three. But this issue of Gaza, it's like we are funding genocide. Our funding of the Israeli military provides Israeli citizens with free college, free healthcare, and all kinds of things that Americans are desperately clamoring for. And all of these things are happening to facilitate an ethnic cleansing so that a Zionist government can exact a colonization of an area and an eradication of an entire people. And we can say it's just that simple. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been murdered and maimed. And we're paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
We're funding it. It's sickening. And it was really, really, really difficult to vote for Harris, despite her being my pick among the three, because I get all of the like textbook reasons why she can't stray too far from Joe Biden and his position on this issue. But then if you want to win this election, Madam Vice President, you need to push your boss to do more so that you can actually win. That's the responsibility incumbent upon you. And she's failed to do that. And as a result, you know, the actual left in this country overwhelmingly does not fuck with her.
Mm-hmm. My sister sent me a text. She's saying, like, this is a referendum on liberalism also. I go, yes and no. It's kind of is, kind of isn't. I think liberalism now has been redefined. Because
I think we have to say that the people who control the Democratic Party are not liberals. They're not. And the people who support them that we call liberals or libs are just, sycophants and idiots who don't really pay attention. But yeah, the people who control the Democratic Party would be right wing in the UK even.
Yeah. Well, even Donald Trump, when he got the endorsement from Joe Rogan yesterday, he said that he's a liberal guy. They still consider Tulsi Gabbard a liberal person. They still consider RFK Jr. a liberal person. So again,
none of those things are true.
but that's my point, though. The word liberalism has been redefined now by depending who you talk to. So
yeah, it's exactly that.
People just go ahead.
Well, and you know what it is. I think it's something a bit more nefarious than that. I think a number of politicians and public figures who've gained prominence in this country have pretended to be liberal or started out liberal or actually left progressive, what have you. And once they made a little money and they saw that they could make even more money by moving themselves to the right, they took that check and ran with it rather than having anything resembling principle. Maybe Joe Rogan was a liberal guy at one point in his life. He has not been at any point in recent history. Not since he's had a podcast because sure, he can make that statement, but like the hours upon hours upon hours of podcast conversation that he's getting, like, it wouldn't take long to blow that apart because he said tons of shit that's racist, misogynist, and conservative.
Yeah.
So exactly how are you liberal, Joe?
You don't think that having Kamala on the show, he would have been just as fair to her and have a conversation? That's what he said. I want to have a conversation. Which essentially what he did with Trump. We had a conversation.
Hold on. Did you listen to do you still listen to Pod Save a lot?
Very little, but I
did you catch the conversation between Favreau and Pfeiffer on this very question?
No. What did they say?
So the point of it is, not only would he only do it if she would commit 2.5 hours, but because of she would have the breadth and scope of prep work that she would have to do for that interview because of all the fucking nonsense that he entertains, like ivermectin and raw milk and all this bullshit, all these fucking conspiracy theories and just asshats that he lets come on and parade themselves out there as experts.
Yeah.
The amount of prep work on just abject idiocy that she would have to do is a complete fucking waste of time. And when she could be campaigning in a place like Philadelphia or around Pennsylvania, what the fuck are you going to do? Research ivermectin or go meet voters in Harrisburg?
But I think that this is the thing we need to understand, though. And I actually like the logic of that because especially her coming to the race late and every minute counts. I get all that. I'm with you on that. But again, this is where the market's going. Podcasts are a thing. You may not like it, but legacy media is just changing, dude.
I'm not arguing that. And I think she did the right podcasts where she could actually have a conversation that was worth her time. However, Joe Rogan is a fucking cancer on culture. He is a cancer on this country. He platforms and mainstreams and gives credibility to fucking nonsense that is deadly harmful to people. Joe Rogan needs to go the fuck away. Schultz, Hinchcliffe, all these assholes. They are a drag on society. They are holding us back as a people. So, take your money and just go away. Be assholes in private.
Right.
Jordan Peterson, fucking Andrew Tate, all these pieces of shit, and anybody that capes for them. The stuff is these points of view are deadly harmful. Like women being attacked on the street and catcalled and assaulted and ignored when they make these claims. Like these assholes are the reason that putting a stop to and improving this condition for women in this country is the case. It's the reason it moves so slowly, and that you have this entire group of like Gen Z kids coming up that are looking up to this shit and screaming this shit in the streets, and it's really, really, really harmful. And I'm tired of people pretending like these people deserve any kind of credibility or treatment, that they have any place in the national discourse.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah,
and again, I know it's not you. That's not what I'm saying.
I'll tell you.
But,
Yep. Mhm.
but it's like, yeah, man, it's like these people are very, very, very harmful to our society. Like during a pandemic, they're telling people to take fucking ivermectin and not listen to doctors.
Right.
I understand a reasonable amount of vaccine skepticism over the pace of development over a vaccine. That is worthwhile. But like when you start digging into the heart of what these people are saying, like they're not bringing up questions in good faith. They're lying for money.
Joe Rogan suffers from audience capture.
Yeah.
I've been telling you that for years. His audience is what it is.
And look, I've said it a gajillion times, and I'll say it till I'm as blue as the hat on my head. But like, as long as corporations are not regulated, the people will suffer. It doesn't matter whether it's media, social media, food, textbooks, healthcare, insurance, whatever. As all these industries continue to get deregulated and they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, their bottom line will always outweigh the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
In every facet of life and industry.
Yeah.
People talk about it's so hard to find labor. Yeah, because people are tired of working for starvation wages and being treated like disposable assets.
But it's crazy because like in Florida, we've done this a couple times in the past. Florida is so weird because on legislation, they're progressive. They've passed $15 minimum wage in the state, 2018. They've passed medicinal marijuana. They almost passed they almost passed the 60% on the rebuild. They got the majority, just not the 60%. And the reason why it lost. Now, the reason it lost was because the bill was written fucked up. And I know a lot of friends of mine who want weed once weed become legal, but
weed should be legal everywhere. There's absolutely no reason that weed isn't legal.
But the way the bill is written, though, certain companies will have a monopoly on who sells it.
Well, yeah, because they're going off the California model, like, and I think we talked about this back at God. We've been doing this shit for so many years,
right?
Like, but I talked about this during that election in California when it was on the ballot to legalize weed recreationally in California. That while in spirit I support the idea, I didn't in any way support the bill because it was basically written by Philip Morris and R.J. Reynolds, and at the expense of the people who bore the bulk of the risk and the burden and the consequences of getting weed legalization, even medicinally approved in California back in 1996. Tons of people went to jail and lost millions of dollars in what should have been their money. And so, yeah, it makes total sense why these things fail. But, again, women and people capable of giving birth, like, what's the current condition of access to reproductive care in Florida? So at the same time, I don't give a shit about weed when women can't survive a pregnancy, and maternal mortality, particularly Black maternal mortality, is what it is.
Yeah. We'll go another 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna go start packing down for bed. I got to work in the morning still.
Morning shift tomorrow.
Yeah, and I got to do a football show tomorrow too. Also, on top of that, I got to take the kids to school in the morning. Yeah, no, well, after at my job, but obviously we're not getting results right now in the next 10 minutes.
No.
But what I'm really curious, Does Joe Biden, if let's say Trump wins, this results hold, Trump wins. Does Joe Biden go to the inauguration? Does he do the handshake, the whole nine, the whole?
I thought the president doesn't typically attend the inauguration. The whole thing is that the president and the first lady wait at the White House to welcome the new president. I thought that was the whole thing.
They're still there. Obama was there. Obama guided the Trumps into the.
Is it that like they exit early and race ahead so that they can have that?
No, they exit after. They exit after he's done speaking. They leave together and then they leave after that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. To tell you the truth, I don't watch inaugurations. I find them dreadfully boring. Even when it's a candidate I support. And for example, in the last one, even though I voted for the person, I didn't support their candidacy, so I didn't care what they had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Joe would attend. If that being the tradition, I do think President Biden would attend a Trump inauguration. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to go out on a low note like that. I just don't see that as, fuck Joe Biden for a whole lot of reasons.
It's a referendum on Joe Biden.
His manners are too good for that.
It's a referendum on Joe Biden, but it's also a referendum on the Democratic Party. And
100%.
Josh said it perfectly. There's going to be an autopsy. If 2016 wasn't a wake up call, you get the chance to reset and to make things right by winning 2020.
Yeah.
And then you can't get that right.
Exactly. And you know what? It's not just the presidency. I mean, look, the presidency gets the most attention. However, it has the least impact on our day-to-day lives of any of the people we vote for on this ballot, with maybe the exception of a 2025 and beyond Trump presidency. However, generally speaking, historically, state legislatures and local governments have way more power. So what have all these blue city mayors, and what has Olympia done? What has Sacramento done? What has Albany done? They have not delivered for people. They have not delivered for working class people, for they have not materially changed a condition that could help facilitate an expansion of the middle class. It is continuing to shrink. It is shrinking at a rate faster than it ever has. And you're sitting on your fucking hands. So it's Democrats at every level.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna be doing a lot of podcasts in the weeks to come. When I've got a lot of conversations. Because I'll tell you this right now, it's going to sound very selfish. I did not vote for Donald Trump. Okay? But I have said on record, Donald Trump is good business for me. As a guy who does content. Donald Trump gives me so much content to do. I make money on this.
Sex sells, and he sells political. I mean, and he spouts political sex.
Right? But I did not vote for Donald Trump because, again, I have personal reasons. As someone who's and for the record, people don't know this. Who's listening to the stream, we're both former Republicans. Both of us are. And to me, it came down to a lot of things really on policy, but also the whole idea of trying to terminate the Constitution to win an election. That's
and to me, that's blanket immunity for police.
That too.
I don't understand how Democrats have failed so miserably to point to that and express and explain what a horrific threat that is.
Because they're so bad at this, dude.
They're so bad at this. It's like the newsroom,
People, I give people credit. I think people are just desperate, and Donald Trump is the one person that speaks to their grievance.
Well, and that's inherently part of the problem, though, and that's where I will again come right back at the GOP with the same fervor, is that they're playing on people's fears, their desperation, and their insecurities, rather than encouraging them to reach for something greater.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about all the ways that America is so star-spangled fucking awesome, but people would, they take the path of least resistance, and if scaring people gets you votes, okay, we'll do that. Mm-hmm. And it's gross. It's just gross. And look, the Democrats are guilty of it too, because they fearmonger about fascism, which is worse in a way because it is a legitimate threat, and they're frivolous about it.
Yeah.
Proto-fascism, whatever you want to call it, like whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Neo-fascism, whatever.
It's gonna be interesting.
But, like,
Next,
But yeah, I mean, the Democrats are just as bad because, like I said, they point to it frivolously. They don't do anything to materially fight it.
no, and that's the thing. They're so disconnected with the rest of the electorate, and it's more and more obvious. You get the reset in 2020, have a chance to redefine your party, and you don't.
Yeah,
And
Joe was supposed to be the fire extinguisher, and his successor was supposed to be the way forward. And they have fumbled this bag worse than the Yankees in Game 5.
Yep. Hold on one second.
The margin right now in Georgia is 118,000 votes, right? 100,000 votes are outstanding.
What are you looking at there?
CNN.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
He says the split will go marginally for Harris. So let's break down what we know about where some of that outstanding vote is. Chatham, 40,000 outstanding, I'm told. This is a county that went to Biden in 2020. Carroll, outstanding, 18,000. This is a county that went to Trump in 2020. And then you have the blue counties of DeKalb and Fulton. DeKalb has 3,000 outstanding ballots. Fulton has 2,000 outstanding ballots. Again, just to recap, tight margin, 118,000, 100,000 votes still out in Georgia. And Gabriel Sterling says it's the split coming from that will be marginally, his prediction is for Harris. But this is what the data coming in is showing right now. Back to you.
John, do you have any questions for Pamela?
You say the total outstanding votes is 100,000?
He said 100,000 votes out. Yep.
Well,
And so I just gave you a little snapshot of where some of those places are. Chatham, Carroll, I asked, when are we going to find out these results from these counties? He did not have a timeline exactly for that, but hopefully soon.
But the significance, obviously, that Donald Trump right now has a margin of 118,838 votes, and you're saying there's 100,000 left.
If he's being literal, sometimes 100,000, they're getting calls from counties and they say 20,000, it's really 22.
Right.
Say 30,000, it could be 33.
John,
But if he's
can I just jump in?
Yes, please.
Actually, we asked about how do you know these numbers, and actually by law, they have to have it, the actual numbers. So I understand your point, but I think they do have more precise numbers based on what the law requires.
Interesting.
Well, then that math sends a shockwave through the Harris campaign.
Yeah.
That is literal. Just even if she won them all, if there's 100,000 left,
Right.
and she won them all, and she won't, he's 118,000.
She said marginally
Wow.
for Harris, which means probably like 53-47 or something along those lines. Interesting. Well, we'll have the decision desk
So
talk to
if
the
that-
people in Georgia. Can I go back?
If that report is accurate, then Georgia's going to swing to Trump.
Because it was so
Yeah,
important. It's supposed
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
It's a marginal. Hold on, it's Philadelphia now. Hold on.
78% reporting. Harris is at 78.1% to Donald Trump's 20%. We've already talked about this. This is a better performance by Donald Trump than in 2020 and also in 2016.
So watch where
That's
he
scary.
is, right? You can look at it either way. He was at 18%. Now he's above 20%. If we go all the way back in time, when he won the state, he was at 15%. The third party candidates mattered a little bit there, more statewide than they did in Philadelphia, but a little bit. So you just track Donald Trump in Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia, 15% and 108,000 votes in 2016. 18%, 132,000 votes in 2020. We're not quite done in 2024, but it's a lower vote count.
It's the margins.
Because we're not at 100 yet, this down.
Yeah.
If he keeps that number, he's got that's going to pass the last one. Absolutely. The margins, again, she's at 78%. And there are some places that are swing counties and you're fighting to move them. When you're starting a plan to run for president and you know how deep Trump's support is across Pennsylvania, you have to do it here. You just have, it's math. It's math. I mean, 30% of the state population lives right here.
Yep.
Right here. So if you're going to offset that, you just got to run it up. You just
80-20. I said that.
She's
80-20.
at 78%. He was at 81%.
Yep.
This will be
Biden
the
at
conversation.
81-19.
This plays out the way it's going right now. This will be the conversation in the Democratic Party is what's happening in urban America, both in terms of the numbers, the turnout, the math, and the percentages.
So
All right, so
I
this
read
goes
this-
this goes right to what we were talking about. Is that to answer the question he just asked, they have failed to fucking deliver.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that
Wages, housing, rent, buying affordability, landlord fuckery, banking fuckery, the food, like access to food deserts in urban area. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Oh, what happened? Nobody did anything for 4 fucking years.
exactly. It's for real. You're not wrong.
Autopsy complete. Look, she is a profoundly better candidate than her 2 predecessors. There is no question about that, Gaza notwithstanding. The Democratic Party, Joe Biden, and their subordinates have failed to deliver. They have no record to point to. Our condition has not improved.
Mm-hmm.
So people want to change shit up. And again, because of Palestine, there is no one's talking about Jill Stein's numbers, but I really want to let's see. Where's Jill Stein polling in the national vote?
I'm curious about that. She was on my ballot, by the way.
No, and that's who leftists are talking about. I think she's a fucking joke, and I think the Green Party's a joke because out of 535 federal legislative seats and 7,383 state legislative seats, the Green Party doesn't hold a single fucking one of them. They just pop up every 4 years to disrupt presidential elections and cry crocodile tears for Gaza and play on well-meaning people's very, very legitimate and serious complaints and heartbreak. Jill Stein, Ralph Nader, and anyone else from the Green Party that I'm not mentioning, they're fucking charlatans, just like the Democratic leadership. But no one's talking about her numbers, and I'd be super curious to know what they are because you can guarantee that every single one of those would have otherwise gone to Vice President Harris. And I would further venture to guess that the difference in this election would or could have been decided, provided that President Trump wins, would or could have been decided by the votes that Jill Stein was able to siphon off.
My wife is just like spilling off all this shit. I want to see. I do want to see. Yeah. To your point though, and we'll leave on that. I do want to see the Jill Stein effect. I do want to see especially Michigan. I want to see exactly what the Gaza situation. I want to see the turnout in Gaza.
Yep.
I want to see
Pennsylvania too.
Because again, one of the things I respect with Democrats is that they are so moralistic to the point where they'll spite their nose. Okay, fuck Trump. Oh, if Trump wins, so be it. But you didn't give me what we wanted, so fuck you. It's like in 2016 with Hillary. Like, we're not gonna bow to you because you're the Democratic nominee if we don't agree with you, and then you kneecap Bernie Sanders on top of that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just what it is. And
I see. There are a lot of people that I know personally. I mean, we follow some of the same people out west. They have been consistent and ardent in their position that they are not voting for President Harris because she signs off on genocide. Or Vice President Harris, excuse me. She was only president for, what was it, when he was getting a colonoscopy for an hour and 54 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, she's co-signed genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Her statement about Israel, as I stated previously, in her DNC acceptance or her nomination acceptance speech, was abhorrent.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not accept the argument that it's necessary for her to stay in alignment with the president. And I think it is further her responsibility, if that be the case, to get Joe in line. Embargo Israel. The fact that we again voted to continue the blockade against Cuba when the entire world for the 32nd year in a row has voted against it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to. I really want to see. All right. Georgia's call for Trump. Georgia wants Trump.
there you go. If Pennsylvania goes, that's it.
Yeah. It comes down to just 3 states now. It comes down to the 3 states. Harris has a path still, but the path is very narrow.
And she's down 1,000,000 and about 30,000 votes in Pennsylvania right now with 88% reporting.
No, not that much.
She's down 50.8 to. Oh, sorry. Nope. Again, I did it again. That was one county that were fucking Steve Kornacki and his big board.
Mm-hmm.
Damn that man and his khakis. They tricked me again. Oh, and while we didn't mention it, it is official that the Senate will be controlled by Republicans in the next term.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We knew that was going to happen, but it is official.
Yeah. So basically,
and see, she's not winning by enough in Philadelphia County. It's still 78.1 to 20.7.
She needs to get the 80. She needs to get the 80 plus.
Yeah.
I just saw a stat here. My cousin sent me a stat here. She goes, black men for Trump in Pennsylvania. Hold on. Give me a second. Black men for Trump in Pennsylvania, 2020, 10%. 2024, 25%.
I don't know. Percent of what?
Okay, I'm going to say it again. Black men for Trump in Pennsylvania, 2020, 10%.
Yeah, but I'm saying 10% of what? 20%?
Black voters, black men vote male.
You're saying 25. Previously, 10% of black male voters broke for Trump, and now it's roughly 25%.
25% now. That's a massive, massive jump in one cycle.
Yeah, and I think that is attributed to 2 things primarily. One, the Democratic Party and this administration's failure to deliver, as we've said ad nauseum, and misogyny. That's what it is. We could sit here and split hairs over other things, and we could propose other conclusions, but like we both know that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the success, like, for example, I'm not gonna sit here and cape for the vice president's record as attorney general, but the simple truth is that the claims about how she, locked up black men by the thousands in California are just ridiculous.
Yeah,
they're ridiculous. But they were not effective in combating that messaging.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a referendum on Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. This is definitely a referendum.
Yeah. And I don't expect them to make any significant changes in how they do things to
not only that,
to give us any hope for 2028, provided we even get an election in 2028.
I'm going to say this too also. I'm going to say this also to you. I might have said this to you before in the past, but I'll say it again. It is becoming even more proven now, especially if it was a popular vote. Like it or not.
I will.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
That Republican tent has gotten much bigger. You folks, you better get real with it now. That tent ain't just evangelicals anymore. It ain't just rich white men. It is a big tent now. You better come to terms with that, folks. And to be honest,
I'm
Glenn.
honestly though, at the prospect of President Trump regaining the White House and the Republican Party having control of both the Senate and the White House, I can't say enough how heartbroken I am for the women of this country and the people capable of giving birth in this country. It sickens me. It literally sickens me.
Yeah. But also
Hold on, real
and we-
quick.
and we
I'm
will
looking.
podcast on-
I'm looking.
go ahead,
I'm
go
looking
ahead.
at the returns right now,
Okay.
and third-party candidates currently account for a total of 24.
Gary Johnson, what, 5%, 6% of the vote? Maybe more than that.
No. Altogether, it's 0.8, 1.2, 1.4% of the total vote.
But
So it is small. It is incredibly small.
But I remember seeing Gary Johnson getting ballot access in some states in
But
2016.
I can't look at state by state breakdowns here, and I would venture to guess maybe it's places that overwhelmingly were just big lib markets or whatever, so those votes were overshadowed in places. Like
I do
New York.
remember Gary Johnson getting on ballots in 2016 in certain states and getting 5% here and 3% here and 2% here. I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't seem that third party candidates are having the effect that I feared they might, because it looks like I can't see state by state breakdowns, but yeah. So when you look at okay, to answer our big board question, Google, they have one.
They do.
Yeah. If you just go on the live results, yeah, we can look at this state by state. Shit, we might have to do.
Are you getting internal?
They're only showing it for. You can't look at the states that haven't been called yet.
Okay, so they haven't called Georgia for Trump on Google yet, as of right now. And right now, Trump is actually outpacing his number from 2020.
Yeah.
Dude, Jill Stein has more votes than Robert Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I expected that. I mean, come on, RFK is a fucking lunatic. RFK is a fucking lunatic. His previous wife, unalived herself.
Oh, I know that
because
story.
of his infidelity.
It's crazy.
The things that man supports in terms of food and look, it pisses me off that the first sentence of his statement, would be correct on something, is to say that the FDA is falling down on the job and allowing corporations to poison people. That part of it is true. His solutions to that problem are unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
He's pointing to a legitimate problem. Give you that, Bobby. But your solution is crazy. His position on vaccines is mind-boggling. This is not somebody with reasonable suspicions of the COVID vaccine. This is a person who would eliminate vaccines across the board. Something that we cured polio. We cured smallpox.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't watch it, but the apparently Vice President Harris's campaign co-chair just addressed supporters in Philadelphia.
And what are they saying?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't have my volume up. He walked away. I was looking at you and talking, and then I happened to look over at the Chiron, and now they're all zoomed out. But when you look at the scene in Independence Square there in Philly, yikes! That does not look like a packed house and an excited crowd. I'm seeing a lot of. You know what? I think that. Oh, Harris won't address supporters tonight. So yeah, they're clearing the party out. So I think they're suspecting that Either President Trump's winning tonight or this thing's not going to be over tonight, one or the other.
My wife is like really, really bummed out right now.
Yeah.
I can't
The
even calm her down.
number, like my DMs, and without naming people, the DMs and text messages that I've been receiving all day from like women I know are heartbreaking and terrifying. Like my mom is scared shitless. Like I really like. Look, I get it. Neither one of us have felt the impact of this administration in any kind of positive way. There is no path to the shit we need and the shit we want if President Trump wins this election. And it's too late now. We just got to wait for the fucking score to be tabulated. It's too late to do anything about it now. But like, when people you care about start disappearing and start dying because they don't have access to health care.
Yeah.
Just
well, that's
you,
her.
To all of you who voted for President Trump, you fucking caused this. And and look, to the Democratic Party who didn't do anything over the last 4 years to convince people that they were the party of the future, you fucking caused this. It's no different than the Weimar Republic and how moderates sold out the socialists, the communists, the anarchists, and anti-fascists in the 1920s. It's the exact same shit. And it's honestly heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. But again, when it comes down to me is this, and my wife is like, she's like going nuts, and I'm like, nothing you can do about it. The thing is too, also, this is the will of the people.
But
this is the problem of having a two-party system.
Yeah.
Like in any other scenario, I would never put Democrat in a scenario. They do nothing for me as a party. Nothing. They may do 5% of the things they promise. They might do 5% of it in legislation.
At best. That's generous. Look, they sit there and placate and promise on the campaign trail, and then they don't fucking deliver, or they haven't in a very long time. We have not gotten I'll say it again. We have not gotten landmark legislation since DOMA was beaten back and gay marriage enshrined in law and the Affordable Care Act. And we're talking about wins from what, 2010 and 2014? 10 years ago was the most recent landmark legislation that we've received as Americans.
Mm-hmm.
The banks never had to pay for the Great Recession.
Yeah.
Blackstone isn't being stopped from gobbling up 2/3 of housing in this country. Private equity companies are gutting corporations that have been around for decades, costing thousands, if not millions of jobs. Billions, if not trillions of dollars in wealth and potential capital for the workforce are stagnating because billionaires are hoarding it. And Democrats are just not doing a fucking thing about it.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was in the news?
I've heard that word fucking a couple of years.
Thank you. When was the last time you heard an incredible story about the Federal Trade Commission bitch slapping some companies for treating their workers like shit? Where's the National Labor Relations Board on the way Starbucks and Amazon and Walmart and Target and Marriott and Hilton and McDonald's and Popeyes and Subway are exploiting workers in all 50 states? Or are these predatory property management companies are forcing people out of their homes so that they can do a bullshit ass, Walmart, Temu fucking renovation and then double the rent? Private equity companies coming into markets like Pensacola and bottoming them out and forcing people to sell their homes so that they can acquire them and then arbitrarily raise rents once they control the market.
Yeah.
Where are you, Democrats?
Yeah, exactly.
Because all of these things are fucking happening in
It's a
real
party
time.
issue. And the reason why I have this opinion, I have to leave for this, is that Florida is a perfect example of that situation. Florida, again.
Florida is housing. The housing fuckery is the absolute worst in Florida.
It is. It's bad. It's bad.
What's happened to the rental condition in Miami, what's happening to homeowners, like I said, throughout the Panhandle, around all the military bases in Tampa, around MacDill, like it's crazy. Deregulation is killing us. Corporations are killing us. And Democrats sit there and, pander to us on the stump and then don't do shit about it.
Yep. So, we'll have you again on this is a stream, of course, but on the podcast.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Oh yeah, we got lots to discuss in the days and weeks to come.
Not only that, 60 minute bone. I want back on Thursday afternoon. Thursday morning, rather.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
And we're gonna discuss because by this is gonna be, I think it's gonna be called tonight. To be honest with you, I think by 3 in the morning we'll know. Yeah, I think by 3 in the morning we'll know exactly what's going on. Yeah, I think we'll know because the states, the way the states are going right now, it looks like he's gonna win. They're saying he might sweep the entire battleground.
Fuck me, I hate it here. Dude, I want I was joking about this on some text threads, and now I'm not kidding anymore. I want the TVA to pluck me out and send me to the void, because that is like this timeline is fucking
we will discuss on Earthsea Podcast on Thursday. We do the Thursday episode, and we're gonna break down we'll do an autopsy on the Democratic Party. We'll do that. Okay.
Christ, I hate it here.
All right, to all the folks that came in the chat, Josh came on earlier, appreciate it. To all the folks that Jason, Joel, everybody who came on the chat with us for the last 3 hours, appreciate it. We don't know who's going to win yet, but it looks like Donald Trump will be reelected president. You got to
cry.
You got a lot.
I'm gonna cry.
I know. Yeah. I mean,
oh man,
dude, this is the will of the people, man. So
I hate my neighbors.
You just gotta hope that the guardrails that did hold for 4 years hold again.
There's no evidence to suggest that's going to be the case.
Well, we won't know till we know, right?
Oh man,
we won't know till we know, right? So, God bless you guys. Mark, I love you. Anyway, no matter what.
Good night and good luck.
And I'll see you on the podcast Thursday. Okay?
You know it.
All right, brother.
Later.